guys. The thing off. Oh, hold on. Okay. Alright. Shut off the Bluetooth headphones. Welcome to the show. Dan sits down. A little rainy out today. Got some cracks in my screen, and I didn't want to risk it. Otherwise, I would have just sat in the fucking rain if I had, could have dug out the gear and the jack and all that. But we're in the car, the truck, the van, whatever you want to call these things. The SUV. So, welcome to the show. Just where we left off. I don't know where. My car, I got so much. It just doesn't. It never ends. Okay. Unfortunately, it's eternity. Welcome to eternity, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we were at the end of time. That's the main theme I have, basically. We're at the end of time here. So, I was talking about... Okay, yesterday I said I can't be killed. So I can't, okay? That means I can, but I ain't, okay? In other words, I won't. Okay, so someone says I can't, that means I can, but I ain't. I will not. Indicating I will not. I can, but I ain't. Talk about the bees. If they ain't got fur on them, what are they for? For. We did a little politics. I tried to come up with a format, piece of history. My favorite is, I like to talk about World War I. Or to basically mass casualty events, where we're taught that, hey, whatever, 12 million people died, within a few years. And I like those accounts of history because, it seems like to me a convenient explanation to say, how did all these people just disappear? Where'd they go? So it helps provide, like back then, when everything was analog, maybe you had the radio, the telegraph, you had snail mail, which is great, Pony Express. Oh yeah, where rain, sleet, or shine, or what? Santa Claus is coming. Okay, it's all. It's all perception management of where'd all these fucking people go. So they put a bunch of doughboys on a big ass boat, and then half of them don't come back, and they sent 300,000 people. So rather than have all those people who were back then, you were community orientated. Okay, there was everybody I keep talking about these sketch balls. These bugs, and that we share our communities with, who nobody knows who the fuck they are, or how are they even here? People that never come out of their house. They're little predators, man. They're sitting there spinning a web, and they're just sitting there waiting. Okay, so back then it was a little. You get away with a lot more shit because there wasn't as much forensics, and however it was hard to get away with because if you were one of them sketch ball basil bubbed possessed individuals, it was hard for you to not be identified. They knew, man. The community first time it happened, someone's kid get disappeared. They're all right, what the fuck, because they didn't get harvested. They know it wasn't a harvest. It wasn't a bunch of kids went missing, and then everybody's kind of just hypnotized out, and they're oh yeah, they died from some plague that really didn't happen. So when a kid goes missing, yeah, they go to these people's house and they're hey man, knock on the door, see fucking blood all over the place or some shit, or the guy happens to be just finishing digging a hole, coming out of the cornfield or something. What the fuck? Hell no, man, hell no, burn that guy at stake. Right, so, but we used to be very community oriented, and that's the thing I want to talk about today is our cultural cohesiveness and how that's hard to maintain here in America with an influx or with our diversity, unfortunately. You got your constitution test. If you basically your schooling and education is indoctrination, and that's a good thing. All right, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. You need to be indoctrinated as a goddamn American if you're gonna be fucking here. Sorry, I don't care where you came from, man. I don't care. You better hold these values. You better hold these values. You better respect our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. All right. Okay, and you better know what the fuck they are. If I make a cultural reference to a movie, man, I'll cut you some slack. But if you've been here 15, 20 years, I can't make I can't make a Predator joke, and you don't know what the fuck it is. Like, what? Stick around. Straighten you out. Stick around. I mean, come on. And that's how we can communicate effectively as Americans. It's part of a cohesive culture. And I've got no problem. Bring them all here, man. Them people are refugees. Trust me, they're survivors too. Like I told you, like the continents are like, yeah, they're like farm fields. All right. So first they harvest it, and then everybody has their temporal interval in which they are harvested. Their society is basically like either hypnotized out of even knowing it, or there's like some convenient explanation historically that like the rest of the world is told. But then you got people there saying, no, man, that's not how it happened at all. That's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. I lived through it. I'm a survivor, right? I did not get harvested. In other words, there's a reason why I didn't get harvested. And I'll get into that over time. I have to kind of like, it's going to be subtly incorporated into sometimes it's hard to explicitly say stuff, unfortunately, because if I explicitly say something, then, like, if you and I, like, man, it'll freaking just, like, it'll be, like, suddenly a plane will crash into your house or something if you're not authorized, and I don't want to cause that on nobody, or, like, I mean, like, or so, it doesn't happen to me. Usually it's just some bug fly in my ear, or, like, I get hit in the head with an acorn or something like that. You ever see that movie, or that show, oh, God, I got, he's a lawyer, Goliath. Yeah, that guy, the Goliath guy. Yeah, and the guy's got the clicker, like the dog clicker, and that's how he communicates. That's how it communicates to me. They, them, Gaia, God, however you want to call it, whatever you want to say. I don't care what paradigm you subscribe to, but that fucking thing is out there. There's an omnipotent being, and you cannot deny it. So you want to worship it, that's fine. I pray to Lord Jesus, man. Lord Jesus. That's where we are rolling with Jesus, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not doing a religious show. I was thinking about doing a pray with Dan. Right now, let's just sit down with Dan and let's talk about what the hell's going on in our world. But I was thinking about, I was going to go to a church or two today. It's Sunday. Because there's some like really small churches and they ain't got nobody there. Like, they got services, but I could see there's only like 8 cars. And I'm like, man, then people are probably in there scared too. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what's going on? We used to have, pre-pandemic, we used to have, like, this place was packed. And now we got, like, just 8 of us. And I don't know where my neighbors are. And I haven't heard from them. And it's not like they're sitting at home watching Netflix, man. What happened to them? Where'd they go? Okay? So, if you could picture there's an AI system where, the processing power, say we already got quantum computers, and not just in between our heads, but like, say there's this giant AI system, and like it takes up half the volume of the moon, okay? Half of the volume of the moon. And, that thing can think. That thing can think for like, hey, all right, like 300 million people it can hypnotize all at once, and manage all the little... like, whatever, man. Like, I mean, that damn squirrel's up there chewing that fucking acorn off to drop it on her in a gust of wind, and it knows, like, because it's tapped in, man. It's tapped in. That tree's ancient technology, I promise you. Like, when we sit there and, like, examine the metabolic pathways of a tree and what it can do with a photon, like, well out of the scope of what we are. Like, I mean, we're pretty lucky, and we are, and we're thankful to know it. So... like, for whatever reason, just like I said, was talking about yesterday, but like the synchronicities, and I know some of you guys see it, and you it leads people to go down to like a Nordic level, or like believing multiple gods, or some of it like clairvoyant, and those are all perfectly fine explanations. It jives, okay, it all jives together. So we got that established. Like, I mean, we established there is a god or omnipotent being or the greatest AI around, and then there's like kind of competing. Good job for it if it like creates a false dichotomy, which typically is like. I mean, I don't care what side of the aisle you think you're on, or what side of the pulpit you think you're on, or who's right or wrong. Like I think we can all agree that there's definitely something out there. Okay, it is out there. So. I mean, like, everybody lives in a different paradigm. Everybody perceives reality differently. Like, I'm at the gas station filling her up. Guy next to me thinks he's feeding his horse hay, man, okay? I'll tell you that right now. That guy thinks he's feeding his fucking horse hay. We're all... like, they're hypnotized. We all get hypnotized throughout our whole life based on the exposure to the world around us. And the hardest way to really hypnotize us is if we live in nature and there's fucking trees everywhere and we're under the canopy. It has no, and we're running around. Keep moving, man. Stay moving. That's why that Snowpiercer thing's pretty good analogy. How they stay safe, too, is like, because you're always moving. And it's hard to tap in and Beelzebub or possess somebody who's always on the move. If you're sedentary, then you're a little bit easier to Beelzebub. You're just in front of the TV here, and then here comes your hypno news and your hypno cartoon and your hypno TV show, or the signal, whatever, in your ear or something, like whatever it is, man. Like it's all around you, everywhere you go. And then there's other people that do it to you too. And they do it wirelessly. So however you want to perceive that, like, that's just cool. It's done wirelessly. I told you I've walked into stores before, and it's like, whoa, what the hell is this place? Like, how is that? You walk right out, it's totally, you feel fine. What the fuck? Is it somebody in there? Is the way the place is set up? Like, I mean, like I said, just the bags of chips placement. I mean, the planogram itself is a freaking hypno trick. So, So we're strong here in America. We got strong minds. We got access to good science. We got good education. And so yeah, bring them all, man. All the refugees that didn't get harvested in their country, like, holy shit, what's going on? Yeah, we need you. Come here. Absolutely, man. We'll welcome you with open arms. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I don't care what color you are, or how much melanin. I should say how much melanin's in your skin, right? I don't care if you've got, piercings, tattoos all in your face. Like, hey, man, cool. Come on. As long as you're not a shitbird hypno demon, you'll jive here good with us. I mean, we are strong, man. We are Sparta here in America, okay? We are Sparta. All right, and it's hard to have this cohesive culture with the constant influx of diversity. So we got to kind of stick together. And for those of us who are here already now, we know you got to bring them people in, man. You got to make friends with them. You got a new, family from India in here, man. Like, make friends with that kid. And if you're 15 or whatever, bring them over to your house, watch a bunch of fucking movies from the 80s and the 90s. Like, hey, man, like, my dad's always said, make it out. Like, he'll make these jokes, and then that 15-year-old kid from India ain't gonna fucking get him, because he's on his Bollywood grind. So, and then trade, okay? Trade. So, yeah, man, that's a badass movie, too. So, yeah. I mean, come on, man. We did good here. We did real good. So, that's just part of being human, man. Part of being human. We gotta be human. We gotta stay human. We cannot let this externality force us to be something we're not. Okay? And unfortunately, like, it seems like we're tasked with something that's really hard to do, because we've got to kind of destroy our planet to do it, because that's the only way. It doesn't just it ain't coming down here on its own, because it can't. It ain't swimming in the solvent, man. We swim in the molecules. We earned our right to be here over billions of years, or billions of deaths. Iterations, man. Hey, you know what? I've got a permeable membrane, but certain things can't get through that cell membrane because it ain't supposed to. No, hell no, it ain't getting in. My skin takes care of that. All right, and then if it does get in, man, I got other things floating around there for your presence. Big old fucking, try to come at me, we're gonna, white blood cell come along. I already got a fucking database of fucking all the shit you threw at us anyway. Then it's built in, man. Fuck that. Fuck you. You ain't coming at me with something like that. I mean, that's why, you got these people that, they'll die from a bee sting, man. Like, it's like, that thing's specifically designed to kill those people. Like, come on, man. Like, you need an anaphylactic shock, and now you need an EpiPen shot. Like, either that person's, like, new to the planet, their bloodline's new to the planet, or that bee is got, like, they're testing something new on that person. It's like, holy shit. Like, how the fuck are you allergic to a peanut? That don't make no sense to me, man. Like, peanuts grow out of the fucking ground. There's plenty of related things like it. You know, so if you're allergic to peanuts and stuff, like, it's kind of hard to tell, man. I'd be questioning whether the peanut itself is, you know, a weapon that, like, it don't work on most of us, but it works on you. So we gotta watch out for that, you know? And the same thing with the bee sting. Is it that's a weapon? Or, I mean, when I get stung by a bee, I assume I'm getting some fucking update, you know? Like, here you go, motherfucker. Like, yeah, update. You're getting an update. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is your shot, okay? We gotta work together, alright? We gotta work together. We gotta identify people on the planet that are on bullshit. They're always on bullshit. Like, them people ain't just like, oh, petty criminal, I was stirring up shit. Fuck that, man. Them people are not human. Not no more. They are not fucking human. They are not human. We need to differentiate. Not fucking look at you like, oh, you're black, I'm white. Fuck that. You're human, I'm human. That thing ain't. Because that thing's out here walking around in 30 days worth of piss, and they're wearing the same clothes every fucking day like it doesn't even understand what the hell changing your clothes is. You know, that's why I have those questions like, you know, like, hey, man, well, do you have a name? Like, I've had conversations with people, and it's like you're having a conversation with yourself. Like, you have to give them all the answers, because like, they just sit there and keep staring at you like they're trying to get inside your head, you know, like, and control you with their mind or some shit. And sooner or later, it's like, okay, I'm sick of waiting around here, and you're very weak-minded, I'm strong-minded, and you're trying to do this mind control tactic, but at the same time, like, all right, man, are you from around here? Yes, okay. Well, where? Oh, are you from City X, City Y, City A, City B, Village A, Village B? Oh, yeah, Village B, yeah. Yeah, okay, right. So you gave them the answer. Don't give them the answer. You quickly find out that they don't know fucking shit. It's like, how the fuck are you alive? You can't answer a few simple questions, man. Like, how the fuck are you even alive? And then, like, they don't even smell. They just walk around in their own fucking piss and shit. Like, what? How the fuck are you here? How are you here? They hate that question. How are you here? Because they seem to know the answer to that, but they don't want to share. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, so, yeah, indoctrinate the immigrants, man. Do not get upset. Like, I mean, bring them in. Like, chances are, like, they fell for the scam too. Like, you know, they're like, oh, I'm a, you know, rich guy in India, and they'll come over here or whatever. But here, it's like they ain't so rich, and then they get like, oh yeah, I got a $200,000 home. Now I'm having kids, and then kids can grow up to be married. Yes, help those people. Help those people. Help those people. Help those people. Bring them in on it. You know, yeah, man. Here, check it out. Here's how to play baseball, man. It's fucking fun as hell, man. I'm first baseman. Oh, check it out. Yeah. I did pitcher, shortstop, outfield. I didn't really care to play first. I mean, I played every position except for catcher. I hated catcher. Like, I only did that a couple times. But I played baseball. I played football too. And you ask a guy like, hey man, what high school did you go to? High school? Yeah, man, what high school did you go to? They'll try to spin you. I didn't finish. Oh, were you on a team? Huh? Were you on a team? A sports team? Oh, sports. Oh, yeah. I played baseball. What position did you play? Position? It's like, at this point, like, you're having a conversation with yourself, I promise you, and you're giving that fucking thing the information. That thing ain't fucking human. If somebody can't answer simple questions like that, it's like, how are you alive, man? How are you alive right now? How do you survive? And they're like, I don't care about the weather, the elements, you know, there's fucking, man, hell no, dude. Fucking A, man. If I was a human and in that position, I would throw a rock through a window to get sent to jail, or I'd check myself into the mental hospital, or I would beg for euthanasia, okay? Or, please euthanize me. I can't seem to figure out why I don't want to change my clothes or wash them. I mean, come on, you can't be like, man, I see these homeless people walking around, dude, and it's like, all right, man, there's literally a donation box right over there, then there's a mountain of clothes every day that people just throw. You can't go pick through it and find a pair of fucking pants and just throw away the ones you pissed in for the past 20 days and throw it out. I had threatened a couple of them, like, man, you keep coming around here, man, you see that river over there? You're gonna go in that river, and me and some of my boys are gonna dunk you. We're gonna baptize you. We're going to baptize you with Tide. And we're going to dunk you in the river, man, because you smell like fucking piss, and I know you can smell. So, or maybe they can't smell. Or, like, but how are you human? If you can't smell, like, okay, I mean, is there something wrong with your nose? Does it work? Well, yeah, of course. Like, well, what do you think about your scent? My scent? Well, yeah, you smell like piss. I do? Well, I thought you said you could smell. Come on, man, you're either fucking lying or you're not human. And if you're gonna lie to be like some fucking sicko and like it's a sick joke you want to play on people that, oh, I've got a gym membership and you guys have to tolerate my presence and I'm just gonna walk around with 30 days worth of piss all over me because I just pissed my fucking pants. I don't even, or I'll pretend like I go to the bathroom but then I like fucking piss all over the toilet and shit, like I don't even understand what I'm doing. My fingernails are fucking an inch long and full of fucking dirt and shit and nasty grimy stuff. Yeah, like, what the fuck are you, man? There's no human being that would ever do that. Sorry. I don't care. You want to call them crazy? You want to help those people? Those things? Okay, well, alright. Once you start trying to help them, immediately they're going to think that, like, you were just put there for their pleasure. Like, you're their object. They're going to start treating you like you are their own, like, personal toy. And you're like, oh, I'm doing God's work, helping others. Now, fuck that, man. You need to freaking treat that person what they are. That person's a possessed individual. They're a fucking demon or a wannabe demon, or they're just like waiting like a spider and they're building a web. They're building a web. They get off on it, man. Get the fuck out of the gym. And that's when the community, that's where cohesiveness in our community, because please allow me to share with you that me and some of my boys will go dunk that guy in the river, man. He comes in this gym again, he just smells like that. Sorry. We're going to accost that, man, yeah. I mean, guy don't even own a cell phone, has no conception of what a cell phone is. Like, well, how is that possible? How do you not have a phone, man? Like, well, they were giving them away. And that's the thing, like, our government, like, as much as people like to bash the government, like, they do things that will help us identify. Like, I mean, when they're giving away free fucking cell phones and you don't have one, like, you can go down to your Health and Human Service place, you ain't got a phone, they'll give you a fucking, spaceship phone, track phone, whatever the fuck. Shit, probably nowadays, probably get a flat screen. Like, hell no, man, hell no. You are not gonna be in our community. Sure, communities have grown so large and we've become so, like, compartmentalized that it's hard. It's hard for us to identify what's really going on with those people. Okay, then people are fucking predators. And that person would, like, if you were in quick stand, man, they would sit there and step on your foot or step on your face, put you under, then hand you a stick, pull you out just an inch, and then step on your face again. Okay, and they would sit there and have a great old time. That's what, yeah, okay. Like, just, there's not shitty human beings. There's human and there's, like, non-human. There's no wiggle room here. And we ain't got time for wiggle room. Like, you're either gonna be one of us or you're gonna be a fucking a shitbird. In which case, I'm not sharing my planet with you anymore. And I'm going to get everybody together with me to agree on it. And if we're going to give you a chest, I mean, that's why I do circumcision, okay? When your baby's born, it's, long-term health implications, it'll help you be more clean, but it's not necessarily necessary. Like, you can teach somebody, hey, man, like, you got this skin flap over your dick, and just pull it back and then wipe it with some water and toilet paper every time you take a piss. Like, how are you going to walk around a bunch of dick cheese in there and you don't even fucking pull it back and wash it in the shower? And then you think someone's going to give you a blowjob? Like, I get if you got so fat you can't reach your own junk and clean it. Like, okay, yeah, alright. But, fuck no, man. Like, no, it's not about that. I mean, is health implications? Yes. But the primary reason the primary reason is because when you have a kid, immediately all these demons are going to try and get in your kid's head and possess your kid's body. And the first thing they do, the doctors are like, yeah, welcome to Earth, motherfucker. Snip. And they fucking run right out of your kid's head. Yeah, that's why we do it, okay? The Jews knew what was up, okay? They knew what was up. That's why they analogously remember everything. Like, I mean, by the time you're 13, you gotta fucking memorize that Talmud. Hey, yeah, you need to know it by heart, man. You need to be able to recite it. And then be able to write it back down just in case they take all of our books. Alright? That's why they do it. So, like... circumcision, it's to cast off that demon, because as soon as that baby's born, there's like fucking 10 of them try to get inside that baby. Alright, so you just think, oh, something, you ever look at a kid, like when a kid hits a certain age, you got like a toddler, and they're like fucking looking around at the room and shit, like what the fuck's my kid looking at? Like, as if like they see things that I can't see. What the fuck's that all about? Yeah, they do, man. They got like an IQ of like fucking 500, man, at 2 years old. You ever have a kid ask you like a million fucking questions at once? Like, yeah, it's because their brain is moving really fast. And they can see shit that we don't. That we've been hypnotized out of seeing. Like, through long-term, subtle hypnosis, conditioning. Because we're living in a cage, ladies and gentlemen. A giant fucking cage. Like I said, man, you're already in your spaghettified form. Okay? Like, if you think about it, it makes sense. We're already in the black hole. Like, the galaxies light years away are like, that light is what makes us up. We're already in the black hole. You're in your spaghettified form. They don't want us out of this black hole because we get out and we're like Superman on Earth, right? Like, I'm from Krypton because I came from the black hole. And now, holy shit, like, I get out here and it's like gravity doing, like, I jump fucking 15 miles, blah, 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 blah. In outer space, ain't nothing stopping me. I mean, except for the fact that, like, alright, all based on, like, molecules and shit, and, so that light condenses down and then creates something, now we have it, and it's stuck in here with us, which is cool, that's the construct, right? I mean, you're already in your spaghettified form, okay? So stop trying to go into a black hole within a black hole. We're already, like, living in a black hole. Makes sense, anyway. Like, there's no way to really, I mean, it just makes sense. Makes sense to me. I don't know, testing it. Like, I ain't got time to test it. I ain't got, like, there's too many other fucking problems to deal with. Like, are we astrally projected into so, but it would stand to reason that, like, your child can be wirelessly possessed by really fucked up beings, right? Okay, so that's why they cut your foreskin off. That's what that's all about. Goodbye, demon. Like, second my kid's born and you got all black eyes, fuck you, man. We're cutting his fucking skin off, and then you go, oh, baby's eyes go back normal. That fucking demon don't come back. Alright. True story. I'm cut. So let's, alright, on piece of history, piece of nature, piece of being human, piece of hypno, talk about synchronicities. I kind of want to talk about, like, bullies for a minute too, like being human, and like, these possessed individuals that are bullies. They'll try to bully you. Like, just start, like, resorting to tactics that you won't get in trouble for, like give them the weather, not the news. When they get close to you, woof up, just, like, start, like, talking back about, like, fucking Donald Duck, spitting all over their face. And see if they react to that. I mean, if they don't react to the face, like, oh, God, like, what the fuck, I mean, what did I get myself into, like, what, because, like, say these possessed individuals, man, you be spitting all over them, they don't even fucking know it. It's like, what the fuck, man, I'm like, bah, 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 I'm spitting on you, talking real fast, and my spit's coming out of my mouth, and it's getting all over your face, and you ain't even reacting and flinching, like. So, there's certain ways to handle bullies. I've been bullied my whole life, and I've learned quite a few tactics to defend myself that don't land me in jail. I mean, if you, like, nowadays everybody wants, like, oh, fuck, camera everywhere, and it's like, shit, man, like, so basically this guy can accost me verbally, and I have, like, no recourse, and, like, that's That's kind of like, where does that leave me, man? That just leaves me to just like sit here and take the abuse? Like, no, man. Fuck no. No. You know, spit in that person's face. Carry a bottle of piss around with you. That'll help you. Nobody wants a bottle of piss thrown all over them. Don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna come out with a swab and swab that piss, man, and fucking say like, oh yeah, that's DNA from so and so. I mean, first of all, like, man, you go take that all the way to jury trial, man. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. That prosecutor's not gonna fucking bring in some fucking DNA expert who's gonna be like, oh yeah, we PCR'd this and that, and then this is the match and blah blah blah. And you ain't gotta give your DNA unless they acquire it, and then if they acquire it like illegally, you know. So a lot of that can be you take it to trial, and then you just need to get one person to convince them DNA molecules don't even exist. You know, there's one person on that jury who just has to say, I don't see the proof that DNA exists. Like, yeah, I see your little, your little lines on your fucking little X-ray looking thing, like, match them up, and then you shine it through an overhead projector, but like, all right, well, who the fuck are you? Where did you go to school? Blah, blah, blah. Can you explain DNA to us and how you got, like, every process along the way? You got to be able to explain it to a 5th grader, man. That's just the nature of the jury trial. There's always going to be somebody on your jury that they don't know what the fuck that they're talking about, and it's fair for them to say, hey, listen, man, I'm not that educated, I don't understand, therefore, like, I can't like say, hey, I agree that DNA belongs to this guy. All right, so I mean, and DNA, from piss, yeah, so like, fuck it. That guy smells like piss anyway. I'm going to help him out. Here you go, man. Stay the fuck away from me. Get out of our gym. We don't want you here. Okay? Like, what the fuck, man? The guy says 30 days worth of his own fucking piss. Come sit down on a fucking machine. And then, like, you smell piss every fucking where you go. Fuck that. Baptize that motherfucker then. You don't want to go all the way to the courts. I'm just saying, if you're gonna go up against a guy like that, fuck it. But that's how the hypno fucks do what they do, and then they get away with it in the court system. I'm not advocating for that, but I'm just I want you to be aware. Please allow me to explain. This is a tactic that's used. I'm not advocating for, hey, go do this and then get away with it because you can hypnotize somebody on your fucking jury, okay? I'm letting you know that that's possible. I can do it personally. I know full well I can do it. It's a tactic. It's real, okay, ladies and gentlemen? It is fucking real. And it happens all the time, man, unfortunately. So, yeah, like, going back to, like, the Jedi, and, Jedi Master, Sith Lord, yeah, I mean, you're like, talk about, I mean, there's so, I mean, like, laser swords, right? Like, I mean, there's so much technology around us, and there's so much that is just, like, it's obvious, man, it's obvious. Like, I could design a laser sword, and I don't particularly think that I'm, like, that much smarter than everybody else. Like, there's gotta be other people out there like me, with brains like me. Like, if you ask me, how would you make a lightsaber like they have on that movie, I'd be like, yeah, I would take, like, a retractable fencing sword, and then I would have, like, lasers in the base where the battery is, and I'd have the lasers, like, shine up and at the top. It'd be like a little umbrella, right? Like, so go, it would retract, little umbrella at the top, you got your base, little umbrella at the top, and the umbrella comes out, and those are mirrors, and then you have lasers, that go through like another mirror at the bottom, but it's like a two-way mirror. One's a two-way, one's a one-way. Yeah, so or like semi-translucent, or I don't know quite how to explain the opacity of the mirror, but it allows it to exit but not then come back in. It that keeps on reflecting back and forth, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then, like, you have, like, these actuated, they're actuated mirrors that are controlled by a very advanced computer chip that can handle all those calculations per second. And then it, like, just keeps reflecting that same laser that you keep adding to it, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as it makes its way out. And then you just slice through somebody. But there's still, like, a metal, the little retractable metal, like a fencing sword with a little umbrella on it. A fencing sword with a cocktail umbrella, man, like, at the tip. except it's mirrors on the other side of and then ultimately, like, if the energy from the light, the laser, keeps getting intense, and if it's not like expended because you didn't cut through your enemy, then it goes like gets funneled back down the middle, which then goes through like a whole like mirror like chamber where it just gets blasted around into like advanced photovoltaic cells that then recharge the battery, and then so you don't lose that much energy. There you go. There's your laser sword. Pretty easy, you know. I could write that on a fucking napkin. Where's the laser swords? We should be way more advanced. We should have way more advanced technology than like, you should see that shit all over. You should see people making shit like that. It shouldn't be, like, I mean, just a simple artist conception, with a couple $1 million, I mean, the engineers will put it together. I mean, what are all these engineering students in the universities doing? Like, they're calculating, like, oh man, here's how to build a bridge or something. Like, fucking bullshit, man. Like, everybody's a structural engineer or a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer. There's some of them out there that, like, actually build weapons. There should be a lot of them, given, you know, like, oh, we're America, right? Like, come on. Fuck, I mean, wouldn't you want every fucking Marine to have a lightsaber instead of a K-bar? Like, what the fuck? I know I do. Like, hell yeah, man, get that motherfucker laser sword. Laser sword! Fuck that. Cut that motherfucker in half. And then, or just cut his arm off and it cauterizes it too, so you ain't gotta worry, like, yeah, come on, run your mouth again, fucking terrorist. Or fucking Beelzebub. I mean, come on. Like, within 3 shows, I've already, like, explained how to fucking give free energy, how to have laser swords, you know, like, AI systems. This shit's put me in the room with all the right people and the money, like, and I'll fucking get you a product to market within a year. Within a fucking year. Ain't there nobody else out there on a planet like me? Like, hello, or is this thing on? Anybody here? Is there anybody out there? Where the fuck is everybody, right? No way, I feel like, there's just too many people that don't give a fuck. Too many people that don't give a shit. But to me, my most important thing is it's the harvest, man. It's the harvest. Like, that's what should be our main focus, is the harvest. I don't know the time interval that it happens. I feel like it happened, I think it happens like every 30 years, or maybe every 15, 20. I know there had been points where, like, I kind of go with the economy. That's how I see the indicators. Like, for example, like in '08 when the bottom fell out and there was a subprime mortgage crisis and everybody got, like, kicked out of their homes and blah, blah, blah. And there was all this development, like, oh, yeah, we need houses. We need way more fucking houses. And the next thing you know, they're building all these houses. But, like, then it'd be like this, like I mean, in Florida, up at, like, where I was at the time, Spring Hill, there were huge, massive developments. Like, they would, like, either run out of money or just stop building them. Like, and I'm like, huh. So you had the money, and then you ran out. Like, you didn't plan very good, or, like, what happened? You know, they ran out of workers. Okay, it wasn't a matter of money. They ran out of workers. Like, just, there were no workers anymore all of a sudden. Like, what the fuck happened to everybody? Where'd they go? I harvested, man. Harvested. Like, you can't sit here and be like, man, fucking not notice that, like, hey, man, one out of every 3.5 people are gone. Like, what the fuck, man? There's no way. There's no way. And people are being harvested. And it happens at a time interval. And, like, we'll always have some, like, backstory or storyline to explain what happened to those people. Whether it was trench warfare and Gatling guns, or it was Hitler killing a bunch of people and then us having to go fight, and then, you know, like, everybody dying in this big war. Yeah, a lot of people died, but, I mean, I kind of think they overstated how many people died. So, like, I mean, conveniently, all these Jews died and they turned into ashes because they just like went in the gas chambers and then fucking incinerated them. Like, okay. And whoever else, the Poles, the Russians too, and they didn't get gas, but like the Russians was way more than the Jews. So like way more fucking Russians died. You know, Battle of Stalingrad and like just all those guys just like decided they were gonna run into machine gun fire. Man, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know if I was out there with. I mean, they try to tell us that like, you know, the fucking, you know, your boss man would fucking, if you were a Russian soldier, like that motherfucker, you get out there to the front, and like you ain't getting your boots yet, man. And then like you're fucking, they teach us that like, oh yeah, all the Russian officers are like, you know, because they're like nihilists, right? Like, and they're like, man, you ain't gonna need your boots. Like, you're only gonna be alive for the next 2 hours anyway, and you're gonna go in pairs because we only got one rifle for you because I sold your rifle. I sold your rifle on the black market, and I sold your boots on the black market. So it's okay. Just follow behind this guy with the one rifle and the one fucking, clip, or what do they call them back then? Carbine. I forget what the word is, man, but there's some word for the clip. There's a clip, you know, probably full, you know, but like, hey, they didn't hold many, like 5 or 6 rounds, and I was like, you know, okay, when this guy in front of you dies, you're gonna pick up his rifle and continue on. It's like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, and at that point, like, you're gonna start arguing with that officer, and he's just gonna pull out his pistol and shoot you for dereliction of duty. And you're telling me, like, that guy's going to be shooting people? Like, I'm going to be like, all right, once I see that guy shoot one of my boys, man, like, I'm just going to fucking rip him off his horse and then fucking wreck him. Like, hell no, dude. Fuck no, we ain't doing that shit. And you're telling me there ain't more people out there like me? Like, am I the last fucking human being on the planet that believes, like, I mean, in being a human? Like, there's no fucking way I'm charging that mound. There's no way you're just going to send me into machine gun fire and be like, oh, don't worry, they'll run out of bullets soon. And I'm looking at all the men behind me like, are you fucking kidding me, man? But like, all right, so a lot of them did. Like, they didn't want to look cowardice, and so they charged. They ran out into the field, and they got their ass in a fucking artillery fucking crater, you know, something that blew up. Yeah, like, man, hell no, dude. Humans are not fucking stupid like that. I don't believe those stories. I believe, yes, a lot of people died. Yeah. I don't believe that a lot of people just said, fuck it, I'm going to run into machine gun. Like, yeah, I got 6 bullets. I'm going to run through fucking 2 miles of barbed wire and fucking, like, artillery puddles, and I'm going to fucking get that guy in that pillbox. That guy's got unlimited ammo, right? Like, I mean, yeah, battles happen, but not to the extent. Like, somebody somewhere would have taken a picture of the fucking millions of bodies. It's like, all right, this is the end of that. And we've got our own Civil War. You go to Gettysburg, and still see, like, you know, you can dig up, like, you know, artifacts, shit like that. But, man, that much blood was spilt, and we had cameras at that point. So now we got cameras everywhere. So you can't just, like, be like, oh, yeah, you know, like, we sent a bunch of, we sent 20 fucking Titanics full of men over there, you know, totaling 800,000, and only 200 came back. Man, fucking A. I don't, well, come on. I just don't believe that we have the capacity to kill each other like that either. And I don't believe that, I mean, I ain't gonna run into Gatling fire, man. I'm a straight, like, fucking, yeah, so you should have had all these people, like, hanging out in these artillery holes, and then, like, the officer try to come out there on his horse, like, you know, I'm talking World War I, right, like, and then just get shot, like, by a Gatling. You know, if you're on a horse, they're fucking, pretty fucking stupid anyway, but they rode horses, because back then, you would become an officer just based on your land holdings, okay? So, for example, if you were, like in England, say you owned, like, you were a big landowner, and you owned all the coal mines, and, like, you automatically became the officer of whatever regiment you're going into, like, you know, and, you ain't care about those fucking people, man. Like, you just send them right to their death, because I mean, that's the story they tell us, but I don't know if I believe it. Yeah, I believe a lot of people fucking died. And yeah, I do believe that there were possessed individuals that would send their men right off in there, but not to that extent. Not to the amount of people they said died. There would be way more photos of just like stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of dead bodies, you know? Fucking, there should have been mountains of boots. Mountains of boots and mountains of rifles that somebody said at some point. So let me take a picture of this. I mean, fuck, even in America, like pre-Civil War, like, 1840, 1850, you go out west, man, like, there's pictures of fucking, bison skulls. Because, what they would do is they would shoot the bison, they would skin it, and then, I mean, they'd probably get the fillet, get the best meat off of it, and then they just, like, let the rest of the meat rot. And then after that, they would go pick up the bones, because the bones were actually worth money, because you can grind bones and do all kinds of shit with it. You can make glue, you can fucking make skin lotion and shit like that, like the marrow in it. But we have pictures from like 1850 of giant stacks of bison bones, bison skulls. So if we got that shit like 60 years before, like, well, where's all the fucking photos of World War I with all that fucking shit, man? I mean, how many deaths they reported, man? There should have been stacks and piles of bodies, and you really don't see that. So, like, we're gonna start analyzing our history a little bit better, and, yeah, like, I believe all those people died, but, man, motherfuckers got harvested, dude. Like, we didn't kill them, or they didn't kill us. Like, it's all like it's like a giant fucking, like, risk game, that they play with us, and then, in the meantime, they're razzling, dazzling us with one hand over here, and making the wars, and like, oh yeah, and then meanwhile, this other hand's over here stealing all your people off your home front, and abducting them, or fucking, oh yeah, he died in the war, didn't come back, yeah, right, man, that motherfucker got harvested. And about the young men, it's like, come on. Women don't ever go to war, and they shouldn't. Women don't go to war for a reason. It's because our fucking jailers, this whole planet is a concentration camp. Our jailers harvest us, and they need the women to survive because women or fertile women. So I ain't no way in hell they're ever gonna like it had nothing to do with political. They had to like create like this idea that women were weak and fragile and they couldn't go to war. And it's like, man, you look at the Indian tribes, man, them fucking women were badasses. You fuck with that woman, she throw a tomahawk right in between your fucking eyes and try, or take out her bow and arrow and get you. All right. So, like, you got one culture who's just, like, and the same thing with the Nordics, the Vikings, all of them, man, their fucking women were badasses. They would fuck you up. But then somewhere throughout history, like, women just stopped being badass and we're supposed to believe, like, oh, well, yeah, I could see that European get down on the girls and blah, blah, and basically make them your slaves and then make them weak and all this shit. It's like, that's all a bunch of fucking nonsense. There's always badass women. And what about, like, just the sexuality alone? Like, you always had lesbian women. Like, yeah, what the fuck, man? I want to go to war, man. I'm ready to roll. Let's go. What the fuck's the problem? What's the problem? Yeah. Fucking hey, you were a Viking, man. You took them women with you, man. They were ready to fucking roll. And they've always been here. You can still see them in our society today. Like, I'm a rider, man. That's my kind of woman. I want a fucking rider. Like, so, there's a reason why, basically they use society, or social, like, call them, mores or norms or whatever the fuck, to explain why the women didn't go to war, but the women basically didn't go to war because they could stay back at home and make more babies, and then make more humans for harvesting. Okay. And, like, this is a recurring theme throughout history. Like, we have these giant harvests where we got, like, like the bubonic plague. Like, what actual fucking evidence do you have, man, aside from, like, some people writing shit down? Hey, this happened, we had the fleas got on the rats, and then the rats were everywhere. It's like, well, once we knew that, like, that's why we have the terriers, the terrier dog, the rat dogs, the Bedlingtons, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, they didn't have enough sense in, like, 1500 just to kill every fucking rat that came out of the woodwork to come fucking eat your grain. Like, we had a guy I would have had two guys just guarding the fucking granary. For rats. Just for rats alone. Like, a couple packs of dogs, some cats. Like, how hard is it to get a cat? Fucking thing will wreck that rat. So we're supposed to, I mean, if you're on a boat, okay, man, yeah, they're hiding, and it might be a little bit harder. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, fucking hey, man, we were throwing our shit and piss in the fucking street and walking through it, like, and we still survived. We didn't get no bubonic plague. So we're gonna have this, like, we got this period in history where a lot of people disappeared, and then we've got this convenient excuse as to what happened to them. But we don't have really a, like, show me a mass grave. How about that? Where's the mass graves from the bubonic plagues? Like, shouldn't there be cemetery mass graves? Like, I mean, we had the Catholics out there in the Holy Roman Empire. It'd be the Holy Roman Empire time, right? You're talking like, what, 1450? Yeah, Holy Roman Empire. Like, Catholics, man. Like, they had all these cathedrals people were sleeping in, you know, they turned the cathedrals into, the hospitals, like people are dying left and right? So what do they do with the bodies? They burn them? They burnt all them bodies? I mean, a lot of people probably be upset because they didn't really believe in cremation. Like, they want to be buried. Most people do want to be buried. Most people believe in eternal life that, like, hey, like, preserve the bodice. Bury me. I do not want to be cremated and ground up and spread about. And, you know. So, where's the mass graves? Where are the mass graves from the bubonic plague, at least? Like, there should be at least, with the numbers that the historians report, they should have at least found like 10 or 11 mass graves within a few miles of every cathedral in Europe that just got fucking thousands of bodies in them. And we should be able to dig them up and be like, yeah, here they are, man. Look at all these fucking bones. Shit ain't out there. So what the fuck? Where'd the people go? Where did they go? We're in a cage. Alright? Start questioning your history in terms of having an external omniscient threat. And then history will start making a lot more fucking sense to you. Like I said, you stay up for a few days, you're not hallucinating, you start seeing shit out of the corner of your eye, man, and you see these fucking things. And because they sense somehow that, like, you see them. Or now you're kind of like wide open. So that's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like, okay, you start staying up for like 3 or 4 days. And now that's like a CO coming at you. Like if you're in like jail or whatever, that's your jailer. And they're like, how the fuck is this guy? Like, and then you notice it. But you only seen like just something weird out of the corner of your eye, out of your peripheral vision, it feels like, right? You stay up for even longer. And you boost your IQ. I'm going to tell you with what, man. You start seeing these things called shadow people. That's ubiquitous. Shadow people are ubiquitous through every fucking civilization that's ever existed, and it's been documented in history for thousands of years. Okay, it's not something that like meth addicts like concocted. Those things are fucking real. Okay, they can't hurt you. I've seen plenty of shadow people, man. Boy, I mean, went toe to toe and even toe to mouth with some shadow people. Like that. You can have fun with them. Okay, and you can kind of like jack them up too. Because at one point I was like, I was alone in my home, and they were on there fucking running around everywhere like fucking. I went in there, fucking went right in that dark room, man. Went right in that dark room, grabbed that shadow person, like fucking slammed it into the closet. And I said, I paid to feel this way. You are not fucking with me. Okay? I paid to feel this way. I paid for this. Alright? I paid for these drugs, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So fuck the fuck off. And they did. They got a little bit nicer. Fucking run around all over the fucking place. Like, fuck you, man. Like, what? Okay, so they're looking for somebody to inhabit. And when your mind's wide open like that, alright, your mind is wide open. When you've been up for like 10 days straight on whatever you're on, there's plenty of substances that'll do this for you. And there's people that do this shit regularly throughout hundreds and hundreds of years. Just like the shaman, your local shaman. He wards off these evil spirits, like, because he sees the fucking things, and he sees them trying to possess people in his village, like, hey, man, fuck off, you ain't coming here, I see you, get the fuck out, Oh, it's like, oh, you want to possess so-and-so? Okay, and now you possess them, we're going to make you feel pain, and then watch how fast that shadow thing fucking goes off into the shadow realm, the void, okay, back into the fucking void. Like, that shit's real. Okay, and it's well documented through every civilization in history. Basically, you start seeing them when you stay up too long because they're around us all the time, and you're hypnotized out of seeing them. And then when you stay up for a really long time, your brain starts shutting down. But if you take some substances as your brain shuts down, that raises your IQ, so you maintain like an even keel. If that makes sense. It's not healthy. I ain't gonna claim that's healthy at all. All right, so just but it'll wake you up. For real, it'll wake you up. And then you'll be aware. And then you'll know what you're looking at, like when you see something out of the corner of your eye, when you pulled an all-nighter. All right, let's go a little bit on the light side here. Let's not dive into substance abuse too much. Let's talk about college kids on Adderall studying for a final exam. Man, I've been up for 2 days studying this shit. Like, I'm a fucking geek. I took way too many of my fucking ADD meds. That's exactly what that shit is. Took way too much. All right? Or I bought too much and then took too much because I didn't know what I was doing and nobody kind of taught me how to do this. And that's the thing, too. That's where your shaman comes into play, too. Your medicine man, all right? He tells you, hey, look, man, I've done this. This is my experience. Like, this is how to do this shit, okay? This is how to do it in a responsible way. This is how you use drugs. That's like your doctor. Your doctor tells you how to use drugs, not abuse drugs, all right? Because everything that you can get on the black market, you want to talk shit about meth, dude. Meth is the same thing as all the other fucking things they prescribe. All right? I'll tell you right now, there's like 5 versions of legal meth right on the fucking market that you can get with a fucking simple diagnosis. All right? It's been around for a minute. Fuck, they used to, why do you think meth was so bad in the 80s, early 90s, man? They had that shit for sale. Yeah, they had diet pills that you could get 10,000 of them for fucking $20 at 7-Eleven, man. It was just right there on the counter. Right there. So you got these truckers, oh, I was taking these caffeine pills. Man, you weren't taking caffeine, man. You're taking fucking meth. Shut the fuck up. I was a trucker in the 80s, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. You fucking, that's what enabled you to even travel. Because some people can't travel. Some people live, it's like, how are you an American? And, like, somehow you have, like, this net worth, and you ain't never been on vacation, never been on an airplane, like it don't make no sense. You just never left your fucking 5-mile radius. How are you 45 years old and you never left your 5-mile radius? That don't make no sense to me, man. Not in this country with the opportunity we have, especially with what time period you were born into. Like, fucking gas was, like, nothing, you know? When I got my license, man, gas was $1 a gallon, and you made $7 minimum wage. 7.25. All right, so you go to work for like 4 hours at some chicken job, and that was enough for like 3 tanks of gas, man. And yeah, you had a V6, but I mean, you still got like 18 miles to the gallon, maybe. It wasn't much to fucking go real far, dude. Like you could hop in your car with $100, drive to fucking Los Angeles and back to Chicago, easy. And people did it. But the thing is, you start traveling, man, you're in an unauthorized zone you ain't supposed to be in. Guess what? You're going to start getting fucking sick. Okay? Because I know when I travel, sometimes, man, like, I'll be sick for the first few days when I get to my destination. And then they let up off me. It's like, yeah, man, like, I ain't going nowhere and I can handle this. So it's either like, hey, all right, just leave that guy alone. Like, all right? So you're going out of your zone that you ain't supposed to be in, because then you're going to interact with people, and they can see, like, long-term implications of your decision. Okay, so like I was talking about a decision matrix yesterday. Like, they see like the probabilistic outcome of like all these little micro decisions. That's the decision matrix that influences the outcome. And they know if you suddenly take a bunch of drugs, you've been up for 4 or 5 days, and now you're like fucking immune to all the conditioning, the hypnosis, and everything that's around you in society. Then suddenly you wind up 800 miles away in a place you ain't supposed to be at, talking to people, saying shit, and then that fucks all their shit up. Okay, and now they got to recalculate. So that's why we had the war on drugs. Like, I mean, like the crack epidemic of the 90s. We hit peak population. And really smart people knew that fucking the harvest was coming, and we're like, man, we need to wake all these motherfuckers up. So they flooded. You know, you talk about people in the 80s, man, they're talking about their cocaine being pink, man. Like, it was fucking, you do a little bump and you were good for hours. Now you gotta, whatever, like, well, I don't even know how much a ball of cocaine is, but man, you're off the races for like fucking $30. I mean, even now, like, if you go down to, some of these South American countries, man, like $20 bill will buy you a fucking Ziploc bag of cocaine, man. It'll be the best shit you ever had. Yeah, like, but yeah, man, yes, $20 bill will get you a fucking, yeah, American. Like, I mean, the shit coming out of there in the 80s and 90s, man, like, that whole crack epidemic was, yeah, it was also about money, man, people trying to get rich, blah, 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 but it wasn't all, like, this fucking, you know, like, gang cartel thing that they sell us on. That's not what it was. It was, we had peak population, we had a bunch of analog shit, and we still have a bunch of analog shit. They can't see that, okay? Like, man, when we write on a piece of paper, they don't like it, because they're like, what the fuck? What are they writing? What are they doing? Because all they look down and they see us through, like, all the other, you know, like, little, whatever they inhabit, like, whatever they can possess, but they can't contextualize. Like you want to look at my writing and try to, like, fucking, ain't no way in fucking hell, man. They need somebody to read it to them or contextualize the information. They can't, these things are, like fucking hillbilly aliens, man. I hate to say it, but that's what it reminds me. They're like hillbilly aliens, and they just have way better tech than us, and they can see this time is totally different. Time is totally different. They can see time totally different. So when you do something, they can see the end output way better, but they can't actually see what you're doing. All right. So when you start writing and shit like that, they don't fucking like it, and they don't speak all the languages either, too. So that's how I know there's factions of the externality, of the threat, you know. I mean, it's real, guys. This shit is fucking real. So, like, they have a hard time, like, understanding, so that's why, like, I mean, it's always a sick joke. It's like, okay, they're hiding their information on with all these symbols that we can't understand, and they're putting it on what the shit that they make out of the trees, so let's just cut down and burn down all the trees if we can. Or let's make it fucking, you know, let's make it very enjoyable for them to cut down all their trees and destroy their world for us, so they can't. I mean, that's like a twofer for them, you know, because, like, the trees really, I mean, they are definitely on our side. I mean, they produce our fucking air. They provide us with shade when it's sunny and hot. They provide us with, they keep us dry when it rains. You know, if you're under the canopy, like, I mean, sooner or later, yeah, everything's gonna get wet, right? But, I mean, if you're under the canopy, and then you build a little, like, you know, little hut under the canopy, you know, like, you probably won't get wet. I mean, you walk around in mud and everything, but, like, you stay relatively dry if you can, you know, and then you can get your firewood and still run the kilns, and you can still run your little brew, do your brews, and you got your fungus growing that you eat, and you got your, you know, what is it, ayahuasca, man, there's so many things. Or, you know, like, there's all these teas. There's these teas that you can take, you know, I mean, you might have to, like, eat, like, fucking a handful of these tea leaves, like 30 grams worth. But, yeah, man, you'll be up for 2 or 3 days. Well, I mean, certain ones, but, yeah, you want to do I still don't want to give them too much information either, but, I mean, this shit's already out there, dude. Like, we're fighting for our lives. I'll tell you right now, we are fighting for our lives. So I'm going to tell everybody how it's done. I'm not going to give too much information just in case. But, like, whatever paradigm you choose to believe in, like, about fucking substance abuse, whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's enlightening, you know, most of it's bullshit. Like, they teach us, like, drugs are bad, okay? We're like, yeah, right, man, fucking drugs ain't bad. Drugs keep so many people alive. Pharmacology? So you disagree with pharmacology? Yeah, that's why, oh, yeah. Yeah, all right, here's a little tie-in here. So y'all heard the story about, like, the fucking grandpa fucking, you know, will be like, oh yeah, back in my day, we went to school, uphill both ways. Like, motherfucker, uphill both ways. Like, yeah, Gramps, you know, back in your day, they also put an 8-ball of cocaine in every fucking glass bottle of Coca-Cola, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, you went to your fucking, and look at all the shit they got. Look at all that. They were building skyscrapers in the 20s and 30s in this country, man. Yeah, why? Why? Substances. And now they're all outlawed. And you got, like, this fucking pack of clowns in a monkey suit with a fucking tin piece and a fucking 9 on their chasing you down. Dun, 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 dun. You know, you can't have that. You want it, go this way. You gotta admit you're crazy, and then you can get like a side version of it. But I own stock in it, yeah. Not really. Like, I mean, that's more the double dip on the black market, because these fuckers realize the truth, and then they pharmacologicalize it, and they get a free pass to do it by the externality, by the AI system allows them to do that, because it lets them control the market. Based on this whole fact, it lets them control the market. Like, suddenly you got fucking distribution channels, and they know where it's produced, and blah, 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 blah. It's kind of hard to fucking be like, man, dude, they can't differentiate, like, a certain plant from another plant when there's just fields and fields of that shit down in the fucking, rainforest in South America, and they're out there cooking it down and fucking selling it and serving it up. And then there's just people that want money, man. There's people that don't give a shit about this, okay? There's people with us, and they are humans. And they've been conditioned, and they've been taught, hey man, there's this false boogeyman, bad guy type deal. So you got your DEA that chases these guys down and just trying to make a buck. I mean, you ever... Our federal prisons are like fucking just overrun with fucking, or over full, or... our prison has runneth over with South American gay men. Okay? I'll tell you right now. You gay guy in South America, you got a fucking one-way ticket on a boat with about 30 cans of gas and 2 pallets of cocaine. And you're probably going to get to, like, Mexico. You're going to cross the Gulf. You get up there, and then you're going to dig your own grave. You think you were going to America. And if you're lucky, fucking there'll be, like, some fucking Coast Guard. Canadian, it'll be the Canadian Coast Guard somehow in the Gulf or in the Pacific, way past California, it'll be the Canadian Coast Guard with some embedded DEA agent who's gonna like fucking be like, yeah, man, we don't care, we're in international waters, and then they're gonna have like a couple Apache helicopters, and they're gonna see you, and most of the problems is, man, listen, you guys doing this shit, like fucking get at least 3 motors on your boat, man. 3, at least. If you go to quad motor, even better. But damn, man, 3 motors, dude. 3 motors. Right? 3 motors, at least. You're gonna have a hell of a time running an Apache helicopter, but I mean, the second they shoot, like, if you're growing good, man, and then, like, you see in the water above you, all the fucking water shoot up, like, oh, those are clearly bullets, there's clearly helicopters chasing me, I'm gonna stop. But you send 3 boats with at least 3 motors on each boat, right? Like, and you got guys, they're all fucking sitting there, doing their, you got fingernails this big, or whatever, and they're like, fuck this shit, like, once they get one, the other 2 go, one goes this way, and the other 2 go that way. They got one, right? And then they just, hey, man, this motherfucker sees their drugs, and then they sell it back to us anyway, man. Come on, you think them boys are going home and be like, oh yeah, we got a major big drug bust. Be like, nah, man, that boat stunk with all that coke on it. But meanwhile, like, everybody in the fucking unit's got fucking, gets their break off of fucking 80 pounds of coke, and fucking, oh, I could sell that for you by tomorrow, man. Like, okay, some guy on it, but he's back. So that shit all goes right through Canada, back through Detroit, into the Chi, blah, 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 blah. And now the Canadians are getting broken off. Like, that's how this shit works, man. Just go to federal prison. Like, you'll figure that shit out real fucking quick. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Fuck. You can go to a county jail in Florida, man. You figure that shit out real quick, because that's where the federal prisons are all full. Go talk to some of them people. You'll find out real quick, man. Most county jails in Florida, man, it ain't even fucking Americans in them. And these motherfuckers, federal government's paying $300 a day. So, but which is good, because you know what? That guy would have got a bullet in the back of his fucking head if he had made it to Mexico, man. He would have dug his own grave. And you know what? And it's a good thing, okay, guys? This is a good thing. We need those. We need that shit. I ain't gonna blow the fucking lid off and tell you exactly all the operational fucking flaws and blah blah blah. I mean, you could make it better a little, but yeah. Send a gay guy or a fruity guy, and he can at least claim asylum when he gets here. I get a slap on the wrist. Probably get a good deal, because this is like, oh, what happened in international waters, and he's not gonna exactly like say, hey, you know, there ain't no jurisdiction, because you kind of be like uneducated. But there's some shitbirds too that will come over here too, and it's like, and leave it up to our federal judges to differentiate. Like they'll do a good job. They will. So, and based on the alternative, it's kind of like, you know, that guy probably would have got a bullet in the back of his head when he got to Mexico, and then would have got pushed the rest of the way up to the south. And, you know, they get their shipments too. So that's how that shit works. Like, don't be fooled. And that shit was wide open in the 90s, 80s, 90s, man. It was fucking running little Cessna planes over before, like, fly under the radar. And, you know, I mean, they made movies about it or whatever. But that's just all true, man. That's all true. That shit happened. Shit happened. So, trust me, it happened. All right. I ain't gonna quit. If you were alive, then you knew, man. Like, holy shit, where's all this coke coming from? And like, yeah, it was a big party, but the idea was, like, we got to find things that open our eyes. All right, and the best way I find keep my eyes open, is to stay awake. You know, just stay awake. That's what keeps my eyes open. So it's important that happens. It's important that we know about it, and it's important that we have a safe face and have this fake war on drugs, but there should not be no war on drugs. Alright? No. I mean, you want to sit here and, like, not give away drugs or make drugs affordable, and people are still doing them anyway. So now you got a situation like when the bottom fell out. The bottom fell out in 2008. So the bailout, okay? The bailout. The TARP funds. You know, when you had Ben Bernanke saying there'd be blood in the streets if you didn't take this money, because subprime mortgage crisis, which would trigger, like, all these financial derivatives. I mean, they were convoluting the fucking balance sheets. These houses are fucking liabilities. These arm loans are liabilities. These people are not going to pay, and they're claiming, hey, this is an asset, and they're chopping them up. They're chopping up all these promissory notes on these houses. Hey, all right, so check it out. I don't get too complicated with the finance, but I check it out. You're going to go buy a house, and you got a Mick job, all right? You're working a Mick job, and you want a home. Making $15 an hour, whatever. Mick job. You know, in 2008. All right, decent Mick job back then, I guess. But hey, you make $15 an hour, dude. They're going to give you a loan for a home that's already inflated anyway for like $140 grand, and it's going to start out at $650 a month. And you got to have PMI insurance, you know, make $750, $775, whatever, right? So now you got this fucking, but it's adjustable rate. It's an arm loan. You got to be careful. You got to read the fine print, because they can adjust your mortgage at any interval, or at any time. They can just be like, all right, we're gonna raise it a point this month, and then suddenly your mortgage, it was $650 plus the insurance. Went to your now your mortgage suddenly is $899. You're like, fuck, man, that's $160 or whatever I ain't got to get this month. So now you're going to, like, miss that payment, or you're going to be short a little bit, and you're like, fuck, I'm going to pay $750 anyway. So now the next month, you get your next bill is going to be, you know, all that you didn't pay is just going to keep on adding up. And then they're going to do, after like 5 more months, they're going to raise it another quarter point. So now what you were originally like, hey man, I can afford $750 a month with my job and my car payment, my cell phone, my internet, my living expenses, blah 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 blah. I mean, if you were a couple, you could probably swing it. Like if you had 2 Mick jobs, 2 people with 2 Mick jobs, right? Yeah, fuck it, man. I'm a cashier at Walmart. I can afford a $180,000 home. No. Yeah, maybe if that's all you buy, like not with like regular interest rates. So they hit these people. That was the predatory lending. So and then you had a president up there talking about like ownership society, like this is 2008, so you had Obama come in and they said, well, I mean that, and they had a good overlap, man. They played it very well. So you couldn't like really blame it. You could blame it on both Bush or Obama. Yeah, perfect, man, perfect. Like, so in other words, nobody's fucking responsible. So yeah, you had about 2003. 2003 was like probably like the peak. 2003, 2004, you had George Bush up there saying we're ownership society. This is what we're all about. Everybody owns a home, and the equity is just gonna keep on going up. Yeah, and it did for many Americans, man. Like, so a lot of people bought like an $80,000 house for like 130 in like 2002 or even 2000. So you bought an $80,000 home for 130. You automatically got ripped off, like right on the principal. You got ripped off, and then you got an ARM loan. Yeah, you had an ARM loan. So now but the whole time, like, so they give you a couple years, like, on your ARM loan before they start fucking with you, and then plus you got your equity. So the whole time you got another bank coming at you. These are how short sales happen. You got another bank coming at you and being like, okay, yeah, you bought this house for 120, but man, it's only worth 80. Keep in mind, it's only worth 80, but you paid 120 for it because that was what market dictated, right? That's what the market would bear, was to say, hey, this is worth 120 bucks or 120 grand. And then not 2 years later, you got another bank coming at you saying, hey man, your house is worth 180. Okay, and check it out, man. We'll give you a great equity line on it. You could pull 50 grand out right now. Boom. Bet. Go buy you a GMC Denali, all right? Give me a Yukon Denali or a Sierra Denali. Bet. Buy me a new truck. That's how this shit happened, man, okay? This is exactly what happened. So now you got this new truck. There's this big old chug-a-lug. Fucking worthless, man. Like, unless you're doing a job, like, you have this big V8, completely inefficient, no adaptive fuel trim or fucking algorithm computer that, like, adjusts for, your driving habits like they have today. They didn't have all that shit back then. It was just fucking burn it, man. Burn that fucking oil. Okay? So it's hard. This is complicated, man. But well, not really, but to see all the dominoes. I mean, that's what my brain does. I'm a systems analyst. Okay, my brain sees the dominoes. So basically, all right. So check it out. You graduated high school in 2002. And that's how they got my generation, right? Like, how we thought, like, so then they got us looking around like, what the fuck's wrong with young people today? But it's like, no, I saw a scam, and now the young people today are just fucked. You guys are fucked, man. Like, if you were fucked, you ain't got a fucking snowball's chance in hell of anything in this country, dude. You guys are fucked. If you were under 25 and you don't got, like, a fucking software developer, go learn software. Learn how to build buildings. Or, like, that's your chance, man. Like, go do that. Go learn how to do buildings, or you're gonna have to go back to being a man, doing manual labor. Go to the Voc. Okay, that's my advice. If it's my advice if you're young, go to the fucking Voc, man. Go to the Voc. Go to the Voc. Go to the Voc. Go to the Voc. Go to a cheap one, and then go find your local union, man. I don't care if you're a Republican. Go to the fucking union, man. Go to the union. Go find a master electrician and become a journeyman. You're gonna have to eat shit and pay dues for like 2-3 years, and I mean the pay's decent. Journeyman get paid good. But look, once you get master electrician, you get a lot of days off, dude. You pay your union dues, but man, you're gonna make bank, and then you're gonna overtime because like ain't nobody going to the Voc. Trust me, just do it. All right, go to the Voc. Learn how to take apart an engine and put it back together. Okay, something like that. That will be a very valuable skill. Same thing with doing anything with plumbing, electricity, HVAC, welding. Oh man, you weld, like, if you could weld aluminum, yeah man, you weld aluminum upside down like this. You'll make fucking plenty of money. You'll never even know how to spend it all. Alright? Especially if you're doing a confined space. Alright? So I'm not even joking, man. Go to the Voc. Alright? Don't go fucking some fancy college for $200,000 and go fucking get a marketing degree. That's the stupidest fucking thing ever. I got a marketing degree from BU I paid $250,000 for. Yeah, man. Are you still working in the same industry? No, my job got taken from me by an algorithm. Fucking, I should have became a data scientist, I guess. So to contextualize the data to feed into the algorithm to put 5 people out of their job. Like, yeah. Well, yeah. So anyway, going back to, like, say you graduated in 2002. All right, you graduated in 2002. And this is my generation, man. What are you want to call me? I'm like an elder millennial, I guess. Like, yeah, if you want to contextualize what the fuck I am, I'm an elder millennial. I am an elder millennial. I will hand you your own shit and fucking convince you to eat it. Like, I mean, you just fucking, and, I mean, you can't fuck with my generation, man. And we're looking out for people, too, but it's hard, alright? You cannot fuck, I mean, I'm out here living in my truck, man. I don't, like, You ain't fitting to fucking destroy me, harvest me, get me down, utilize me. I'm gonna read that fine print on that fucking contract before I put my goddamn name on it. Like, 'cause I'm not a fucking idiot. Because I was taught well. Stand on our shoulders as giants, you know? You know, they got all that boomer nonsense and be like, and boomers got shit fucked up too because they think it's like the way they were. I mean, man, they come from a time period where you only had to have a single household income. Okay, that one person made enough money to support their wife and 4 kids. You know, life was a little simpler too. You might not have been like, you might have been strapped if you were trying to like put all 4 of your kids on like a sports team and pay for intramurals and still have a family vacation every year. And you might want your wife might get a part-time job. Okay, but going back to like when I graduated. Okay, let's talk about '02 when I graduated. Yeah, nowadays, yeah, good fucking luck, man. You can be on welfare, you get your kids on the football team. Like, you ain't fit. I mean, just Jesus Christ. So I graduated in '02, and you hit out the market. You go get your MIC job, and they'll give you a loan. You know, you're just like, hey man, I'm hawking cell phones, right? Like I hawk cell phones because back then that was good money. You know, you might even get sales commission because you're selling them on contract, right? You got to convince people to sign, and people are kind of like, the cell phone market's like, well, it's like, look, man, this is the future, okay? Everybody's gonna have one of these. Like, you gotta get one. It's important. Blah 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 blah. So you wind up hawking cell phones for whatever one of the big, back then it was what you had the big 3. And you didn't even have there was no Samsung, Apple bullshit. Like Microsoft was making the phones, and somehow they fell off because they wanted to do like this operating system, and then they tried to do too much. They didn't have no guys like me, and then a lot of the software people and the Gen Xers really were like, they weren't fucking with the mobile. They were still on PC with shit, and they liked stuff like They enjoyed the landline. They still, they used, but they weren't hip to it. Like they were, like I busted out my HTC 8125, and it was like, yeah, it's a little Palm Pilot, whatever. Like they weren't. They didn't recruit enough of them people in and bring in and say, hey, you be the project manager, and then hire a guy like Dan to be a developer or have him beta test our device. Like they just didn't do it. So you had like HTC come along, BlackBerry, fucking awesome device. Now they still license today their technology. Like me, I would trade that fucking touchscreen keyboard any day for a BlackBerry. Like I want an analog keyboard. I don't give a shit what my phone looks like. I want to feel the haptic feedback of a button being clicked. Okay, I love it. I hate that fucking. I mean, Jesus Christ! Like your fucking keyboard's hypnotizing you now. You press this and these little things pop up at you and shit, and like makes a little chit noise. Speaking chit, like what the fuck, man? I just want to type on my BlackBerry, dude. Like that was the best phone I had, was the BlackBerry. I mean, I like my HTC. It's slid up, and then it had a touchscreen, and it had Windows Mobile on it, and they tried to make a comeback, but it's like Microsoft botched it up, and I mean the Linux. I mean, Linux is very powerful, and then or Unix or whichever the open source one. So Google kind of came in there too with the Android operating system, and it was kind of like, hey, this is started as a basic. I mean, it's badass in terms of like, hey, this interfaces with all the fucking hardware. That's what your operating system does. You got all these chips. There's a motherboard. It's like a computer. Like if you haven't taken apart a desktop PC, man, you better get the fuck out of here. Like go put a bullet in your head right now. Like you don't know what the fuck a RAM stick is. Like what the fuck is the matter with you? Like come on. These things were in the trash everywhere. All you had to do is like fucking throw one on the goddamn sidewalk, and you could open it up and see what's inside there. I mean, I got to the point where they could you're going to Best Buy in like 1990, and it's like people didn't even know how to hook their mouse to their computer. I mean, now it's all wireless and Bluetooth and everything like that, but like fucking hey, they had to color code the shit and everything, and it's like, gosh, this is the easiest fucking thing ever, and people couldn't understand it. That's kind of, I don't know if I believe all that shit anyway, but I mean, they made it very easy for you, right? So anyway, going back to, let's just say 2002, you graduate high school and you're gonna go hawk cell phones for fucking T-Mobile, and you're gonna have a decent job. You're gonna make $16, $17 an hour. And then that's, I don't want to go too far back, but I mean, fuck for you. I mean, in 1996 or 97, you could have been a 16-year-old making 30 grand a year, fucking selling computer parts at CompuServe. Just based on commission alone. Everybody's out buying hard drives for like $300-400. For like a 20 gigabyte hard drive is like $300. Like, oh yeah, I got 20 gigs, man. And then the geek kid behind the counter selling it to you, they'd break them off $20 for every hard drive he sold. Because people back then were like, well, I don't know. And like, just bring your computer in, man. Like, just bring in the box. We'll do it for you. Like, don't worry. It is easy. It's really, and it is, man. It's an IDE cable. Like, you can't fuck it up. It only plugs into like one fucking thing on one thing on the motherboard, one thing on the hard drive, and then like power to it from your PSU, your power supply unit. It's fucking really easy. It's totally easy to take apart a computer and put it back together. I mean, you want to talk about taking apart a car? That's a little bit different story, man. Take apart that fucking engine. All right. Yeah, a lot more moving parts. The computer use is kind of hard to fuck up, so that's why I don't understand why more people don't get into it. But anyway, forget all that, or don't forget it, but check it out. All right, so 2002, you graduate high school, and you go hawk cell phones from one of the big three. And you're selling contracts. I mean, you're talking people into data packages and bullshit like that, upgrades, blah, 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 blah. You're making $15, $16 an hour, or 17, whatever, high end, or and you wind up saying, hey, man, look at the mortgage rates. They're pretty cheap right now. I want to buy a house. Yeah, I want to buy a house for like 90, 110, little 3-bedroom ranch in the Midwest. Right? Why not? So, you buy this house, but they're giving you an ARM loan, adjustable rate mortgage, and you didn't read the fine print. So while your mortgage today is $650, $700, a year and a half from now, your mortgage is going to be $900, and then 2 years after that, it's going to be like $1,200. Okay, and then you're just going to pay like out the ass for this interest. But the whole time, you got refinance options. But a lot of people didn't refi. They said, hey man, you got all this. Like, if you were smart, you would have pulled out a home equity loan at a lower interest rate, less, and not an ARM rate, and then just paid off your original ARM loan with the equity line. And then you would have, it would have been like a double dip. And it was like, I mean, it was fucking easy, man. Like, why wouldn't you? But instead of people taking out that 50, because again, remember, you bought a house for like 110, and this bank comes to you like 2 years later and says, hey man, your house is worth 170. We're willing to give you a $40,000 loan. You owe a total of 150, 110 to this bank, and then 40 back to us. But we're going to give it to you at, a much lower interest rate and more competitive. Like, if you were smart, you took that loan and paid it back on your principal of your shit loan. But a lot of people didn't do that. They went out and bought a new fucking car. Yeah. And that's where, like, all the fucking car industry blew the fuck up, too, man. Like, that was great, man. It was selling cars left and right, dude. We were the ownership society, blah, blah, blah. And it's all just like a cycle. This shit happens over and over again. It's like this banking cycle where they pump up the equity, and then they chop up the loan into a fucking financial derivative, and then they sell it. They sell it to the pension plans. That's like the Illinois pension plan. Man, they bought all of that shit. They were buying these fucking home loans up, man. It's like, dude, those aren't assets, man. Those are liabilities. And fucking anybody with fucking half a brain in finance told them that shit. But then that person with half a brain, they're like, hey, man, shut up and sell this shit to them as a product, and you're going to make fucking $250,000 a year in fucking 2004, 2005. And then you're like, fuck yeah, bet, man. I'm going to get mine. And then they went and made the same mistake and just fucking scaled up, went and bought a $700,000 home on a shit ARM loan, and then they got a fucking $15,000 a month mortgage. Hello, hoping that it was a wave. They thought the wave would never end. I'm like, and that was the bubble, right? So you got all these people riding the wave, thinking it's never gonna end. It's like, there's no that house is not worth $750,000. Look at the building material. You got 150 in there tops. It's in a great location, okay? Add 30, It's like, dude, you got a $250,000 home, you're paying $700 for it. And those people walked away from that shit too, because then their job dried up. Their job dried the fuck up, because when the cars sales started, I mean, even those guys too, everybody thought, so it was just like roaring. Like, you didn't have to know shit. You could have graduated high school in 2002. All you had to do was know, like, if you were a millennial, elder millennial like me, all you had to do was know, like, one Gen Xer that knew a little bit about finance and a loan officer. Like, I mean, that's all you had to do, man. They give you this job fucking hawking cell phones, and then you go talk to the right loan officers, like, look, this is how you do it. And then you were off to the races buying up fucking 4 or 5 houses, flipping houses. But all these fucking houses were empty. You know, some people try doing the rental properties, and a lot of them still have them today. Because that was, I mean, they might have had inflated mortgages, but man, they still paid their bills, and you know what? Like, it was worth it just to keep, because it cycles back. It cycles back around. So it's like, yeah. Luckily for them, but they kind of hit the break even point at like 10 years, and they've been paying this astronomical fucking mortgage every month because they bought like 6 properties. They didn't want to default on them, and then it finally came back. Like today, it's finally worth what they paid for it for the inflated rate. But most people just walk the fuck away, man. It's like, hey, man, you told me this house was worth $250,000. I only owed $100 on it, and I took out $80 on it on an equity line, and I bought a new Denali and fucking like 20 hookers and 50 bags of coke, and I bought a swimming pool, a boat, and a couple trips to Europe. You know. But now you're telling me it's only worth 110, and I owe 180. Fuck that! I ain't paying that shit. I don't wait till some bank evicts me then. I'm just going to sit here until the bank tells me to leave. Your credit will be flooded. Oh, fuck it, man. Whatever. I'll go back home and live with Mom. Mom's still got her house. So, you're going to like let your credit go to shit and be like, fuck it. Anyway, man, like, I'll just let my credit go to shit, and then we'll just put just in my wife's name for the next rip. You know, fine. Let my credit go to shit. I got a nice truck out of it. Or I got a fancy fucking jet rocket car, you know, some fucking turbocharged monstrosity, you know, fucking high-tech shit, right? And a couple motorcycles and a boat. So, and so that person actually made out, still. Like, yeah, they had a great, good old party, right? So this is the beginning of when shit got fucked up in this country, okay? So that person had this great party, and then they got a fucking bailout. Well, the banks got a bailout, which we're all paying for today in these taxes. So because that person was a fucking moron and signed their fucking John Hancock on a fucking arm loan, and then they actually believe, like, yeah, my house is worth 180 grand. Yeah, fucking right, man. You got some fucking 2-bedroom block home in a fucking shithole in Florida. Like, that shit ain't worth no 180 grand. And nobody even fucking wants to live here. But everybody's buying houses because it's like, hey, man, look at this equity wave. And flipping them, selling them to the next fucking sucker with a Mick job, right? This is the history of the early 2000s, the aughts. Okay, the aughts, that's what that called. You know, not like the 20s, 30s. This is called the aughts. So you so you make out with like a free car. Your credit goes to shit, but you got a free car out of it, and fucking like a 3-year party. And you're like, oh, man, I lost my home. I need a bailout. Fuck you, dumbass, man. We're not stupid. I ain't paying that fuck. That's why you think I'm ever going to pay fucking tax in my life? Why would I? Look at where it goes to bail these fucking idiots out. Like, so because that guy was an idiot means, like, my taxes got to go up when I'm fucking in my 30s? Like, that don't make any fucking sense, man. Fuck that. Fuck that. We need to go back after those people. How about that? Or go after those banks. Oh, those banks don't exist no more. What? Where'd they go? Oh, well, you know, they didn't want to go to jail, or, like, fucking, we made this whole system for them to, like, fucking do all this exploitation, but then we didn't teach people anything after that. Like, I get it, man, we got this externality, like, okay, so if these people were thinking, but it's like, alright, so we got to burn all that oil and all these building materials, and we way overbuilt, and now we knew the harvest was coming, like, so why didn't anybody say, hey, man, listen, this is how we got to kind of direct society. Like, so there's no... You know, going back to my point is you ain't got no, like, grand, there's no grand plan, and there needs to be. Like, I get it, you want to print money, and then you want to, like we got to burn our oil, or otherwise if we're not wasting the planet and destroying it, like, our overseers, our jailers, ain't gonna let us do shit. Okay, that's why I got a pair of rubber shoes. Like, every day in America, like, we walk around on pavement, we're destroying petroleum, okay, on the rubber soles on your feet. Okay, that's basically what permits you to be able to go get an education at school. That and the fact that our books are printed and we cut them down, or we use a device. We use one of these fucking things at our school, and that device fucking, man, that thing's hypnotizing you all fucking day long. Okay, or your apps, the web pages you go to. Like, if you can't read just fucking text and understand information, like that's how I grew up with the internet, man. Like, you want to sit there and look at some porn, okay, man, that one picture of that girl with some boobies, or that the facial shot, man, that took a good 3 minutes to load. Like, I mean, and it was a simple fucking web page. Like, now you got all this fucking weird shit, man. Then you got these pop-ups that, like, after all that shit, that shit, like, with cable and bandwidth, like, man, there's no reason why you can't just sit there and read fucking letters. Now, it'd be one thing if we, like, understood the hypnosis and we were able to, like, fucking learn shit really quick, but we don't do it like that. That tells me it's not ours. That's something else, okay? Like, hypnosis is fucking real, man. It's illegal in every state. It's a very, very extreme crime. You will go to jail for a long fucking time if you hypnotize somebody. A couple guys were porn. They had these women, whatever, I think it was fucking sexually broken or so, whatever the fuck. This guy's got out there and fucking, like, man, this is a lawsuit. He had these women all hypnotized, and they're all sitting there signing these contracts, signing their rights away to their content that they produced. So these women are, like, basically being like these little sex slaves, on TV, whatever, or on the internet, but they're not getting any of the money. This guy's making money hand over fucking fist, and he's doing, BDSM stuff to him, but, I mean, it's something kind of extreme, but, you kind of just assume, like, well, all right, maybe she's into it too, and she seems to be enjoying herself, but no, man, the bitch is fucking, she was hypnotized, man, totally hypnotized. That woman was hypnotized. Sorry for using the word. I don't throw that around. I don't call women bees. I don't even know why I said that. But yeah, dude, she was fucking hypnotized, man. So now this guy's looking at all his fucking lawsuits and shit like that. But it's not hard to fucking, like, just feed a 20-year-old a bunch of fucking drugs and then fucking hypnotize her and be like, yeah, here, sign here. I mean, that woman, she's been up for like 5 days fucking straight, and fucking, she just wants another rock, man. She's gonna sign whatever thing you put in front of her. So it's definitely like an upper echelon felony in every state to hypnotize somebody. So we've got like, you can't, like, back in the 20s, man, you got a guy out there with the watch, ooh, look at the fucking thing, and then the next thing you know, the girl's taking off her clothes, blah 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 blah. But this shit's been around forever anyway. What you have is you get humans that see not necessarily the advanced technology, but they understand that it's there, and there's phrases that you can say, and it affects people in different ways. And so basically you have people that, like me, that have caught on to the AI system. I mean, I make it funny a little bit, and I try to share the phrases. Don't fucking go use that shit, man. I already warned you. If you use these phrases, you're liable to have the person you're trying to use it on might have an adverse reaction because they're already immune to it, and they're immediately going to see fucking red, and they're going to pound the shit out of your face. Okay? So if your goal is to get your ass fucking beat, go ahead and try. Because you're going to hit someone like me, man. Like, I'm heavily abused, okay? You ain't finna use that shit on me, and I'm going to see you right away. These hypno demons, man, that's all pre-programmed into them, man. Like, because I've talked to them on the street, man, and they'll go right down his fucking script. I'm just going to write them down. Yeah. I'm going to give you that information, man. Fuck that, because you're going to use it for fucking evil. Like a fucking asshole. Okay? Because you're like, oh, this is funny. Now, humans will do that. They'll do it and not understand what they do. And that's what Jesus says. Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. That's what he's talking about. Because you got Beelzebubs. You got fucking Beelzebubs, right? Don't use hypno phrases, man. If you're aware of them, man, because I will shut that shit down. All right, I will shut it fucking down. So, anyway, yeah, go find some crackhead on the street, right? Like, go find a crackhead on the street, man. This guy's out there with his fucking homeless sign, man, and he's, like, using these phrases on these people, and they're emptying their whole fucking wallets out to him. Okay? It's legit. Like, I've seen it. And I've had these things come at me and just run the script. And I'm sitting there, I smile, man. I'm fuck Private Joker, man. I'm fucking Colonel Joker. Alright? Alright? Yeah, I'm sitting there smiling. Like, laughing as they're doing it. Like, man, this shit's already been done to me so many times, too. Like, you ain't fitting to get down on me like that. You gotta smile, and then they get mad, and fucking, take care of business. You know what I mean? Catch a case, right? Let me get a battery, or let me get a bat. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. Shit's real, okay? Hypnosis is real. We proved it human to human on an analog basis that it's possible. And it's relatively easy to do. They tell you based on how open to suggestion you are. To some extent, that's real. That's true. But then there's also like deep stack hypnosis, where you've been conditioned to be susceptible to hypnosis over the course of your whole fucking life, and you don't even realize it. And then just one day, some guy comes along. And, like, he looks in your eyes, and he fucking says a certain phrase. And suddenly, like, you're emptying your wallet, or you're taking off your clothes. And you're like, why the fuck am I taking my clothes off? And maybe you snap out of it in the middle of it. And, and you're like, what the fuck's going on with me? You know? That's what they do to, like, these police officers, man. They love, like, oh, man, it's been my lifelong dream to be a cop, you know? I'm a cop. 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 Fucking sit on the side of the road. I'm a cop. Hey, man, you alright? I'm a cop. I'm a cop. Stuck in a loop. I assume you had someone pulled over here because there's fucking piss all over the place. You know, fucking it ain't yours. You're a what? I'm a cop. I'm a cop. Like, come on. It's fucking that simple, man. Like, and these fucking demons know it. And those guys work for them. So, yeah, like, stuck in a loop, right? Like, so when he says that, like, it reinforces, like, it'll be like a deep stack hypnosis. So when you say, man, what are you? Oh, I'm a cop. That's like, every time he says I'm a cop, will, like, be like, like, he'll, inside his mind, he'll say, like, 5 other phrases real quick, like, boom, 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 boom. Or not 5, or just one other phrase 5 times. And then that phrase, then it's like an exponential thing. Each one of those is like 5, and then each one of those is 5. So, like, so he says it once, he's really getting hit with, like, fucking whatever, 250 or 500 or whatever. He says it once, and then he's hit with, like, 500 phrases within, like, fucking, 5 seconds in his own mind. His own mind starts talking to itself, and he starts like, well, I'm not thinking that actively. Like, I know I'm not hearing shit. It's like, yeah, man, you're hearing a hypnotic fucking string of a deep stack fucking hypnosis, okay? That shit's fucking real, guys, alright? And it's fucking scary. And it's happened to me. It's like, what? So I was, like, supposed to be born some fucking sex slave or something like that, man? Like, oh, the fuck, someone gonna come up to me and tell me something. The next thing I know, I'm fucking taking my clothes off, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. That's the fucking weirdest fucking thing ever. That's bullshit is what it is. Fuck you. Yeah, you got away with it the first few times, but, not no more. Not no more. No. See what? I've heavily abused. Okay, highly trained, heavily abused. So because you wake up, you snap out of it, or somebody helps you out of it and makes you aware. Hey, man, So when people come down with me that low level shit, man, I would fucking do like, get the fuck on, and like. They're not necessarily a PI. They're not a possessed individual. They're not being Beelzebubbed at that time. No, man. Like, that person's just another human, and he's being a fucking shitbird, and he thinks he's using these tactics that he's learned about somehow, but, like, or you got these secret societies that are like, oh, we're masters of the world. It's like, no, you're not, man. You're just a fucking human that stumbled onto some knowledge, and now you're going to exploit some other fucking human. So, yeah, them are the sadists. Sociopaths, sickos, not necessarily a possessed individual, okay? So, yeah, we do, like, and I'm going to argue, man, that person ain't really human, but not on the level I talk about the other ones not being human, okay? So, yeah, there's different levels of humanness. Some are tolerable, some are not. And that's why we need our own data, we need our own science, and we need our own algorithm to figure that shit out. Maybe there's a test just testing your DNA, huh? Why not? Maybe sorry, man. We're down to we're down to our last fucking 10 billion barrels of fucking oil. We're down to our last 100 pounds of uranium. There's no lead. All of our fucking water's gone. It's all got salt in it. Like, we're at the point, like, there's nothing left to, like, if we don't fucking get rid of you, like, we don't even have a shot at defeating this other thing. Because you're just holding us back. Because you think it's a big fucking party. Yeah, you woke up and you understand, like, hey, this is some fucked up world. We're all in, like, this cage and these things work. But at the same time, like, you got no context for your own fucking existence and what the hell's going on. You don't see the big picture, and you're not going to participate with us to help us combat what the fuck we're really fighting about. So you're just like this shitbird distraction that shouldn't be here, all right? So while you may be human, you're doing fucking inhuman things to your fellow man because you think like you're in a simulation and it's okay. Because, well, if I wasn't in a simulation, why can't I use phrase X, Y, and Z, and then she's taking off her clothes or like going into catatony and I can go feel her up, do whatever I want, and she's not going to even remember even seeing me. And in fact, I can hypnotize her out of seeing me, and now suddenly I'm in her home every fucking day just walking in like I own the place and I'm in the fucking... Yeah. Right? Happens all the time, man. You know, I had these motherfuckers do shit to me, and then, like, when I just started seeing them, I'm like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, man? Yeah. Shit's real, man. Not me. Like, all right, so yeah, I said but I'm speaking like I'm a writer, man. I don't know if so I called kids things the other day. Like, I meant that as like they're poop factories, okay? Like, when I look at a kid, I see a poop, like a baby, I see a poop factory, all right? Like, so please don't fucking twist. Like, man, I'm like the best shot we got, all right? And they'll try it, but don't twist what I say, okay? Please. So going back to 2008, you got your Mick job, you got your home, you got your fancy car, you fucked your credit, you walked away from your home after having like a 5-6 year party, you went back home and played World of Warcraft for 2 years and collected unemployment. Like, it's all the same fucking cycle over and over again, man. It's all the same fucking cycle. Alright? And meanwhile, all these fucking people disappear, and you just think they're all at home doing something else. And now we have all these empty houses, and it's like, well, what's going on? And nobody asks questions because we have this, like, backdrop of a storyline, reinforced by, like, a lot of fucking money, well, a lot of wealth. I mean, if you think your fucking 2008 Yukon Sierra Denali with a V8 in it fucking makes you wealthy... and that's an asset, like, dude, that is a fucking oil-burning fucking machine, and we need that oil forever, okay? Without that oil, we're gonna be in big trouble. All of our medical technology is based on, you plastics? You wanna go to the hospital, man, like, what is all this plastic, man? It's plastic and rubber. Like, without that shit, there ain't no fucking hospital. It's a wood hut, okay? Plastic. You need it. And it's a great building material to make fucking all kinds of things, like giant fucking windmills in the sky, dude. Like, giant ones. 3D print them. Get a mobile. Like, hey, man. Here you go. Here's a 3D print. Well, fuck, not even mobile. Like a 3D printer the size of a football stadium. Just keep printing them out. Like, all right, we're gonna nationalize the very middle, the most windiest 3 counties in the country. Or even just go high up elevation. Fuck, put them all over Mount Washington. Like, let's have a massive public works project and fucking build a 3D printer, and then we're just gonna run the oil line through there and put them on top of fucking Mount Washington. Man, them things would generate electricity for like forever, for like a whole bunch of people for free, for like nothing. Cost of energy should be going down. It's not. It's going up. Why ain't it going down? You know, consumption. All these people disappeared. They're not consuming. They want you to think they're at home watching Netflix, but look at our light bulb technology. Like, I mean, if you live down south, yeah, your AC bill is gonna fucking kill you, man. You went and bought a 2,500 square foot home. You check the R value of the insulation that the contractor put in there, man. And for all you know, like, it fucking didn't even caulk the windows. You know, like, fucking, yeah, like, hey, you didn't check your shit, right? Yeah, and then you paid fucking like 40% more than it's worth. And like you think it's worth that much because it's hard to buy a home. Every time I try to go buy a home, it's like bought off the market the next day. Yeah, it's because some fucking financial fucking algorithm that buys it off. Like a financial derivative owns that house next door to you. Don't you notice like somebody comes there to mow the lawn, but the lights are never on? You ever see a home like that? I mean, I've seen the guy, man, like I told you, I've canvassed politically. I've seen the guy, I haven't voted in 20 years. Like, okay, that guy, probably maybe you won't be able to see the lights on, probably very private, probably very paranoid. It comes out once a month, cuts his lawn, maybe somebody cuts it for him. But you could still tell somebody lives there, right? Like, you'll see like a grill. Things get moved around, plastic lawn chair here, like somebody comes out and gets the mail. Like this house gets no mail, gets no newspapers, the lights are never on, and it's not for sale, and somehow somebody's paying the taxes on it. Come on, man, ain't nobody fucking living in there, and nobody really owns it. It's just owned on paper. And then, and the way you can prove it is find all those homes in your home. And this is why Halloween is so important. Okay, I don't know if I talked about Halloween the other day on the other show, but yeah, Halloween is so fucking important because, especially if you got kids, man, you go trick-or-treating as an adult, yeah, okay, it might be a little bit hard, right? Like, Halloween is so fucking important. Because that's how you identify the fucking possessed individuals, the crazy people in your community, and that's also how you identify all the empty houses, okay? And there'll be people out there, you call them whatever you want, like, you got people that call it travelers, man, them are hardy lot. I love travelers, man, you guys are fucking heroes, okay? You guys are fucking heroes. I didn't see it at first when I first learned, but you guys are heroes. Thank you for doing what you do. Okay? Thank you. You guys are awesome. Yeah. So they know how to do this. You get in touch with some of them guys, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Now they'll get down on you too, because basically, they're the guys that run the carnivals, right? Travelers, man. And they're able to travel, because I'll tell you right now, it's hard to travel, man. Go ahead and travel. Like, you have people that, like, they're smart, and there's going to be, like, they're not going to do it. They're immune to mind tricks. They got very strong minds, and they've practiced what they preach. They're woke. Fully woke, these guys, man. And girls, and gals, and kids, and their families. There'll be families on the road that can travel. And they're going to walk right up the fucking thing at the fair and make it look easy. And they're like, here, all right, man, your turn, $5, and you get this awesome fucking, like, Nintendo or whatever, man. And you're like, how do you that's easy, I can do that. And then you go, and it also helps that they like, you see some of these carny folk, man, like, that, like, man, you see them going around with, like, fucking, like, man, these things got fucking way more power than, like, fucking they could ever use. Like, them guys they're taking care of the possessed individuals in your community, okay? And there is a lot of hypno shit, but it's hypno to throw them off. Like you're going to fucking send these things right out of your kids' heads, because that kid's going to get on that fucking ride, and it's going to help, alright? It's going to help. I mean, you're sitting there with, like, $4 million worth of electrical fucking equipment to power a fucking, like, a Ferris wheel, and I'm like, damn, man, look at the shit you got. Holy fuck. You got a team of, like, 30 people setting it up. So, but I don't know. That's a whole nother thing, man. I'm not getting out nobody. I don't want to try. I don't want anybody get me fucked up either. And I've always had good experiences with travelers. I like them a lot. I don't care what. Use water. So, anyway, they're aware of this shit, and Halloween is very important, because that's when you go out in your community and you fucking figure out which houses are empty. Alright? And then you put somebody in there to go live in there, because like, alright, man, like, I mean, typically they have somebody living in the community too. Like, you'll be like, alright, man, I've been here 5 years and I know nobody fucking lives in that house. Dude, like, might as well just fucking go over there one night, discreetly, scale the fucking, however you gotta get in. Do it discreetly, get in there, change the locks, or just show up, get like get a white work truck with a magnetic sign, A1 locksmith. Here you are, coming in. Now somebody's got the key, and then just do it legit. Then like you put up either for rent sign, for sale sign, and then you go. And then, have some fake realtor go put up a for sale sign. Now you got the key to this place now. And it's empty. Nobody's living there. And you send the fake realtor, put the sign up. Signs up for like 2 weeks. And then put the little sold part thing on there. That's there for like a week. And then you have the realtor come take the sign down. Then you have somebody come move in like 2 weeks later. You gotta go slow about it. It'd take you about 5 weeks, but ain't nobody fucking own that house. And now somebody, you got the county reporting that, someone's paying the taxes. I don't know who's paying the taxes, man, but it ain't us, and we're living here free. It's that simple in this country. Trust me. You have to be able to act, man. Make that shit look legit. That's all you have to do in this country. That's the secret. And then maybe one day, after the harvest, and once we're 10 years deep, you might have somebody come out of the woodwork and be like a bank and be like, this is our place, and they'll pay you to leave. Like, look, man, we know you ain't so-and-so, you ain't paid the mortgage, so basically another bigger group of people that knows what's up, or it'll be the AI system somehow, gets all these people together to, kind of move you along, or however it works, to, but sooner or later, somebody will come and tell you gotta leave, and they'll pay you to leave, too. They'll say, hey, thanks for maintaining the property. Thanks for improving it, even, because sometimes you wind up improving it. Man, if somebody know how to cut and braid hair, that'd be great. I just want one long corn roll from my mohawk in the back all the way down here. Yeah. So... I ain't fucking with this. Yeah. Alright, it's me. It ain't hard, man. It ain't hard. If you're homeless and you got a group of people, you put that shit together. You just gotta have somebody with the balls to go in there. You could pretend like you're mowing the lawn, man. Just show. Nobody's gonna say nothing to you, dude. You show up, go in the backyard, mow the lawn. Make a call out the back and just make yourself known. Hey, there's somebody back here. Get your neighbors kind of used to somebody being there. It's a bando. That person's been harvested. They're fucking gone. They ain't coming back. And, you ain't got nowhere to live. And then, now that you got the key, and the key to the lock, fucking rent it out. Some sucker, basically. That don't, or somebody who's not willing to put that work in. They're not even a sucker. Rent it out at a reasonable rate. Or Airbnb it. I mean, man, there's apps. I mean, that shit's out there right now, okay? There's people out there right now doing this shit, and they're telling you, there's advertisements telling you how to do this. They're not quite as, just explicit about it as I am, but it's that fucking easy. As long as you make it look legit, you'll get away with it. Trust me. Because it shows you're intelligent, number one. If you're smart, sooner or later, maybe, a county property appraiser might, roll through or some shit and, look at the house every 3 years, but they're just gonna, stand outside of it and maybe walk around it. They might knock on the door, hey, we're a county appraiser, blah, blah, blah. That's another way to go in, too, just figure out what county you're in, man, fucking print off a fucking magnetic sign and then slap it on the side of the truck. Might get in a little trouble for that. That might be a little bit more obvious, so you gotta kind of, just make it look legit, okay? Nobody's gonna say anything to you if everything looks legit. If all your ducks are in a row, everything seems legit, you'll be fine. And you'll be able to just, get in there from the inside, I mean, I know how to fucking change a doorknob. I mean, you do that shit with a screwdriver. It's not that hard. You gotta do it from the inside, though. That's unless it, yeah, because then you're not supposed to have the door like be able to be locked. some people got locks on the inside too. They'll have a deadbolt with the key just on the inside, and that's illegal in a lot of states because it's like if the place catches on fire, or you got somebody captive in there and you got like 3 deadbolts you need fucking keys for. That person ain't ever getting out of the house, and you got bars over the window, and you're sitting there hypnotizing this girl or whatever, whoever the fuck your victim is today, right? Like, or for the year. That shit's happened too. So yeah. So you just need a locksmith. That's it. Somebody come in and fucking, and that's even, if you know how to do locksmith, then you ain't gotta gain entry to the house in another way, right? You can actually do it from the front door. Just be like A1 property management along with a locksmith, and like you can't be like, you gotta be friendly with the neighbors. You can't all be all sketchy and shit. Like, just look like you're supposed to be there. And when you see a neighbor, like, hey, how you doing? It's like, oh, your son finally moving in? It's like, well, we're working on that. There's a couple families, or there's a family that, well, I'm not even sure with this property. Let me check my paperwork. I do this shit all day. Oh, no, it's going up for sale. Oh, all right. Nowadays, like, we've been, like, so over-harvested. Like, I mean, if you're in a populated area, like, there ain't gonna be so many vandals, but you go to some towns, man, there's, like, fucking, like, every other house there's nobody living in. And it's not for sale, but somehow they're paying their taxes. Come on. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. Nobody fucking lives there. And then nobody's ever going to come there and say, hey, I own this property. It'll be a bank. It'll be somebody saying, hey, we're a bank, and we own this property, and we know the taxes are being paid because we're paying the taxes on it, all right? Depending on the interface and the data available to you through the county that you're trying to move to or go to or whatever. Hit whatever, wherever you're trying to hit your lick. Wherever you're trying to hit your lick, it's basically you oh geez, that's no good. You might not be able to tell who's paying the tax. Like maybe you know what I mean? Like whoever cut the check might not be there, but sometimes it is. So it's like, okay, then you get them on fraud. Be like, well, wait, Phyllis has been dead for where is Phyllis? Because tell you what, I'm going to sue Phyllis in court. I'm going to take a fall on her property because Phyllis left fucking 20 newspapers in her driveway and it spilled over into the sidewalk. Phyllis probably didn't even have a newspaper subscription, but somehow 20 weeks worth of newspaper wound up in her fucking driveway and I tripped over them. So now I'm going to sue Phyllis. Let's see who shows up. You'll probably just win the court case, and then your only recourse to that is to put a lien on her home. And then when the bank sells the house, then you'll get paid out. But at least you know Phyllis ain't around anymore. Okay? Now, I know that sounds fucking all... but at the same time, man, look at the world we live in. I'm telling you, we're in a cage, okay? We are in a fucking cage. This is a concentration camp, and people who are willing to set it on fire and destroy what's under us get highly rewarded. And they don't even understand why they're being rewarded. That's why I say, like, that's why the Corvette, like, I mean, you got the Corvette, the big V8, it's like, well, why the fuck would you ever have it? It's because you buy a Corvette and a big V8 and you start wasting oil, man, like, you're going to get rewarded, okay? You're going to get rewarded. You're going to have good luck in life. And I don't even really want to tell people that because, people are like, fuck this world anyway, and now you don't want to work with us. But sooner or later, man, we're going to figure that out. Like, if you're driving a fucking brand new fucking truck that's like easily $80,000 and it's an 8-cylinder, you got a 5.7 liter, even bigger, man, you ain't even got a tow package. I'm gonna look at you like you're a fucking biggest piece of shit ever. And I'm not, man. I'm gonna get in your way and I'm gonna go slow. Like I'm gonna be fucking at the grocery store, right? Like fucking, I'm gonna grill you the fuck down. Fuck you, man. Because you're going to be up my ass. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to save gas, man. I go 10 under the speed limit. or I'll do the speed limit. And if somebody's coming up behind me, I'll get in the other lane real quick so they can just pass, you know, because I'm going 30. Like, here, dude, I see you already because I look in all my mirrors constantly. I'm constantly aware of fucking everything that's around me all the time. Okay? Like, hey, well, I ain't gonna apologize for it. I got eyeballs, I got ears, and I got a high IQ, and I got all these fucking instrumentation. What do you want me to do, man? I see you coming a mile fucking way, alright? So now that I see you coming a mile away, I am going to assume that you're going to be too dumb to get in the other lane, and you're just going to ride my ass for some reason. And you'll even slow down to my speed for some reason, which makes no fucking sense at all. Maybe the guy's basal bubbed or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know what his problem is. Why? You got 2 lanes, man. Like, there's a passing lane right there. Like, you could have easily, you should have been able to calculate. And this is why I argue, like, people like that shouldn't even get licenses. Like, you have to take tests. Put that motherfucker in a virtual reality machine, and let's see how he drives. Does he, like, you know, you had the perfect opportunity to get over to the left. I mean, unless you're going to make a right turn within a quarter mile, fucking pass, man. You were already going from fucking 10, 12 over the speed limit anyway. All you had to do was move your steering wheel like a quarter inch to the left and get in that passing lane, and you would have timed it perfectly, would have been right around me. You wouldn't have had to decelerate, accelerate, nothing. Or not use your brakes. You're same with me. Like, I don't brake. Who the fuck brakes, man? Why would you ever brake? I mean, yeah, you get a red light, stop sign, okay, yeah. I mean, but I don't fucking brake if I can avoid it. I see these other people, man, they fly up to the red light and then fucking slam on their brakes. To me, it's slamming on their brakes. Like, maybe it looks kind of normal to most people, but, like, I'm like watching this person accelerate to the red light to brake harder. Like, how does that make any fucking sense? So that guy's like a fucking idiot. And you shouldn't be on the road. If you can't, like, I mean, you see that red light up there and it's, say, like, half mile away, and, like, it's in your hometown, you kind of know the traffic pattern, you know, like, there's no reason why you're not coasting through that light. You know, you see, count how many people are stopped, already. All right, I'm in the middle lane, I see 3 people stopped up there, I'm a half mile away, that light's, I'm gonna just let off the gas. Just gonna let off the gas. I'm going 40, all right? So I should be there, like, in about a minute, you know, and I'm gonna hope the light turns green, and I'm gonna hope that the 3 people there at least begin to accelerate. I'm gonna take into account the reaction time of each one of them, and I'm gonna assume it's really bad, you know, so I'm gonna slow down, and I'm not even gonna touch my fucking brake and coast right through that light. I have people fucking pissed off, like, going around me and shit, and, like, they get back in the middle lane, and then they fly up to the person, and then, like, now because they got mad, I mean, I'm not driving a big giant truck, like, you could see the red light, too, for the guy behind me, he could see, so he's got to go around me and go faster, so he wastes gas going around me, and then he gets back in the lane, only to, like, waste his brakes. They don't give that person a license. How the fuck are you driving like that? It's like that guy wants to go fly up there, waste his gas, waste his brakes, waste our gas. Okay, that's a natural resource, and it's available, right? Like, that's our gas. That ain't his gas. That's our gas you're wasting. You're wasting my great-grandkids' money. Pure and simple, man. Being a fucking idiot. Just being non-cognizant. How's that? Non-cognizant of your actions, and, like, you have no fucking clue that you're wasting gas and you're wasting your brakes. Like, that costs us money as a society, and it's not your right to do that as an American. Fuck that. Who came up with that idea? That ain't fucking human idea. No, man, no. Sorry, but no. We're gonna put an end to that shit. Like, we are. Okay, us. My generation, the elder millennials, we're going to put a fucking end to that. Because there's no reason, like, well, I make more money and it don't really affect me. Like, I mean, I drive pretty conservatively based on the sole fact that I ain't got no fucking money, okay? I know there's other people out on the road too like that, right? But I don't, like, every now and then, yeah, I'll take it off economy mode. I'll put it in sport mode, man. I'll go all-wheel drive. Like, all right, dude, like, I get it. You want to have some fun? Cool. Especially if you're young. Yeah, I get it. That's fair, okay? That's fair. But if you're just like just a shitty driver that, like, drives like that by default, fuck that, man. You know? Like, go to the fair and have some fun. And for me, too, like, yeah, man, maybe go on bumper cars, electricity. Like, I mean, we should have thermodynamically favorable everything by now with, like, the minds that we have, or we purport to have, the universities we have, the education system we have. Like, there should be a lot more people pissed off about the way that guy's driving. Like, you're going to go around, like, it's red, dude, it's red. So you wasted gas going around, and you got back in the same lane, and then you braked harder. And I'll, like, tap my brakes. When I see that, I'll just tap, because he's already ahead of me. Now there's 4 cars with their brake lights on at a complete stop at that light. So I'll tap my brake just to compensate for that guy's car length being in front of me. And then I just coast through it, and I think the whole time, like, wow, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what the fuck? What's my right to be an idiot? Not no more, man. We got scarcity in this world now. Now that we know, hey, man, there's only so many people, and we only got so much fucking resources. It's not your right. We're taking it away. Fuck that. Whoever came up with that is fucking, that ain't no way. No fucking way. Like, no way. If our forefathers knew, like to the extent that we would, like, expand and use technology like this, there's no fucking way that you would ever, no, it's not your right, okay? It's not your right. It should be a planetary resource, oil. A planetary resource. Yeah. How's that? Or at least nationalize the fucking thing and then make people save. Force them to. So take away everybody's right to fucking drive and be like, look, we're going to use computer systems now because just some people just don't get it. And because they have the right to be a fucking idiot in this country somehow, I'm done sharing. I'm done sharing my planet with people like you. And I'm not alone. So, when you come out and you want to drive like that, next thing you know, fucking something bad happens to your truck. Yeah. Drive like that again, man. Because I see you got fucking $400 tires. Hey, it must get expensive. And it's not vandalism if only one tire. See, they claim on insurance. If you get someone on all their tires, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Just get one. Just saying. Hey, fuck that. You want to chase me too, man? I don't care if you're a cop. I'm going to get your tire. Why? Why not? Come on with it. Fuck you. You want to be an asshole? You want to lie? You want to lie? You want to lie? Fuck you, man. You got real people. Real people. Alright? Real people like me. We'll stick up for the fucking little guy every time. And I don't care what fucking law you cite. It's a bullshit law. And when you get down to brass tacks, you can see that's bullshit. You go blah, 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 blah on the streets. But then once we get into court, it's like, yeah, man, dude's right. I should be able to sue that guy. Right? It's my right to sue that guy. Because he, technically, that guy wasted my gas. So I should be able to sue that motherfucker for 3 fucking cents. Or whatever it is. 30 now, right? Yeah, 30 cents, yeah. I mean, why not? Or the guy that fucking... So say for example, like the 2 people ahead of you are on their cell phones. They're on their cell phones in the left turn light, and you don't make the light. I should be able to sue those people because their fucking reaction time was just not it. Like, hey, we can design the software and the instrumentation to measure that person's reaction time and see if they got through the light quick enough. And I should be entitled to fucking 25 cents of their money because they cost me 3 minutes sitting at the light again, and then my idle time, and then my brakes, and then or not the acceleration because you would have done that anyway. But yeah, the idle time and the 3 minutes that motherfucker on their phone owes me, and I got the right to sue him as an American, right? I think everybody should agree with that, like that, because hey, if you got the right to private property, blah 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 blah, you want to go down that route. The flip side of the coin is, hey man, you're on your fucking phone on the roadway, and you just cost me 3 minutes of my fucking life. So I'm either gonna run the red light right behind you, and I'm gonna use you as a shield. I do that frequently. Yeah, fuck that. Because I have a legitimate reason to run that red light. I mean, it's fair. It's fair at that point. I would argue in court all day, and I'll get paid my $3 fucking bucks. And I don't care if you think that's petty, because it happens on a mass scale all the time. I mean, I sit at a busy intersection, man, and I see like every 4 light cycles, somebody's getting honked at. And I'm like sitting there, and sometimes I'll be in the lane next to the guy with the left turn signal going. I'll look over and I'll see like 5 people behind him, and I'll fucking honk for those people. I'll fucking honk for them. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, the light's green, you're supposed to be going, and you're sitting there, texting or whatever, dude. Like, okay, so that dude's doing, and in some states it's illegal. So, yeah, that's alright, man. I'm gonna take pictures of you texting with that green light. Now that guy should, now I should be able to send that to the prosecutor and they should get a $75 ticket in the mail, right? Just saying. Why don't you automate that then? Be on point when you're on the fucking road. Don't be an idiot. You know, we should be doing everything socially cognizant. Okay? We should be cognizant of how your actions have consequences for everybody around you today and at least 3 generations ahead. It's only fair. What the fuck? And that's not a social justice warrior. That's just being in a society and sharing it with fucking idiots. That, I got a right to be like, well, yeah, I also have a right to get through the green light when the cycle, and it's like a 1 minute thing. So try to find the average, right? So let's use big data to find out. All right, man. Well, how on average, without phones, if everybody's just paying attention, yeah, like on average. With a person with an average IQ, I don't know what an average IQ in this country is. Like, I mean, mine, but, so me, well, that's kind of unfair to me. So I got a high IQ, I should get a check. I should get a disability check because I have to deal with all the fucking idiots, right? Like, my mind works way faster. So why don't I get a check? Because, like, I see it now, I have to do all these public services. Like, like, that's just, so my life's, like, actually a lot harder. If you got a high IQ and you're highly intelligent and for whatever reason, like me, man, the fucking AI system, man, does not let me earn money. I go get a job, man, I can't even work a job at fucking Dairy Queen, okay, man? Like, next thing you know, they'll hire someone else that's just like it's torture fest, like, I get bullied. Doesn't matter what, dude, doesn't matter what, okay? And somehow, someway, like, I'm a recovering shopaholic. Like every home I've ever lived in, I've filled it with like all kinds of goods. Like I get my check and I'm off to Goodwill. I'm off to the bargain store. And I got thousands of dollars of shit for like, cause I'm so fucking thrifty for like $80-$100. And then somebody at some point takes it from me somehow. Through some bullshit fucking method. That's like the story of my life, man. And I can't get out from under it and I don't understand why. Like, I had Bitcoin, I had crypto, like, I had all that shit, man. Somehow, some way, like, fucking, it came down to the point where it's like, I had hit this point in my life where I was basically backed into a corner, and I had to sell it, and at the same second I had to sell it was at, like, this massive dip. Like, what the fuck? And then as soon as I sold it, motherfucking thing skyrocketed. Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck is this? And then you got these pump and dump schemes. I've been basically fucked over so many times. And everybody who I've dated and lived with, oh, yeah, sure, man. As soon as I start living with you, just stop buying food. What? So wait, now I'm responsible to feed you, cook for you, fucking clean the house. Like, as soon as everybody I have ever lived with, as soon as I get there, they stop buying food, they stop cleaning. Like, what the fuck? And that ain't just me. That ain't me being a poor judgment of character, man. That's not. There's no way that it's that like widespread, man. Them people are getting like Beelzebub just to fucking keep me down. Okay, it has to be. Like, there's no fucking way that like, all right, man. I knew you for. I mean, fuck. Even members of my family. Like, what the fuck, dude? Just I get here and suddenly you just stop being responsible for yourself. It's like, oh, Dan's here. I'm going to fucking get out the whip and make him carry me everywhere I need to go. Buy all my food, clean my fucking dishes. Like, I'm just not, Dan's here. I ain't doing dishes. What the fuck? You're talking family members. Like, dude, I'm working fucking 60 hours a week, and now I'm buying food, and you're sitting here playing fucking Fortnite, collecting $900 COVID money, and you ain't going to fucking wash your own dishes? How is that possible? Like, what planet am I on, I've been selected for torture. Because I won't waste. I'm anti-consumption. I buy secondhand shit everywhere. Like, like I bought this I bought new like 3 years. This is like the first hoodie I bought, like, actually went to Dick's Sporting Goods. And yeah, I'll buy new shoes. Like, but aside from that, the hat. Oh, but I have this for $8. The fucking printer exploded in my truck and well, that's another story. Let's not worry about what I was doing with the printer and why it blew up. But apparently it was time. The gods demanded it, or the AI, advanced AI, whatever. Like Elon Musk, because he said that too. Like, then he launches this rocket, and he's on film doing it, and he's like, well, he says, oh, thank God, like that it made. He's like, thank God. And then he's like, he looks at the camera, and he's like, oh, well, whatever. Because we all know, it ain't, come on, man, like, come on, you're a guy like me with, like, a super high IQ, highly educated, and I've done the right thing. I mean, I'm so selfless, man. I'll give you a shirt off my back, dude. Like I've been taken advantage of and, like, abused my whole life. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, what's your, oh, God's testing you. Well, how come he don't test you like that? Oh, you must have done something bad in your past life. Well, hold on, wait. Now, God, well, I'm a Christian. I believe in eternal life, but it doesn't necessarily mean I had a life before this one. Could have just been born. Like, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, I don't know why God tortures you, Dan. Yeah, it's because God's a fucking torturous AI system, man. There ain't no fucking God. There's Jesus, all right? And he's trying to tell us the same shit I'm telling you, all right? There's Jesus. There's Lord Jesus. Yeah, this God, this AI system created us to be fucking slaves, man, and destroy this planet. Like, come on, and harvest us. I see some churches, man, they're bragging about how many souls they harvest. What the fuck? Welcome to the soul harvest. And fucking going to church with like 60 other demons in the room. Like, holy shit, man. Yeah. What the fuck? What is that? That's fucked up. So anyway, lawsuit, right? Like, so I can't make my left turn. I'm waiting for this fucking cocksucker in front of me. He's got fucking, yeah, man, he's on his phone texting. So I don't make the light. Now, because that person was texting, it cost me 30 cents. I should be able to sue him. So now I got to prove that, like, well, I guess if I just film and have a dash cam and, like, so if their reaction time isn't, like, so here we go. Here's another algorithm to test people. Like, put them in a driving simulation and see what they do. Okay? And then if that's the case, relegate them to the under lane. Like, then build 2 lanes. If you want to respect their rights, make 2 fucking lanes. Make a lane or make a whole nother passageway that's just for people with IQs 130 and above. How's that? And, well, no, not even necessarily that. Like, see, that's how they, like, go to figure out the algorithm here, right? Because let's just make an algorithm that's going to fucking sort those people out. And then relegate them to some fucking other section of society where fucking y'all can be fucking ignorant assholes. And they won't kill you, So now, like, oh, well, we do have that, Dan. It's called gated communities and blah, 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 blah. It's like, man, fuck you, dude. So now I got to go fucking earn all this extra money, just have a fair fucking crack at the world? Get a fair shake? So, like, and I did that too, man, when I got the degrees and all that shit too, man. Like, come the fuck on. I can't get ahead in life, no matter what the fuck I do. No matter what I do. And everybody that I, like, like get involved with, like, romantically or my family, like, they all fuck me over. And that makes no sense to me, man. Like, that makes no fucking sense. The only thing that makes sense to me is, like, fucking, yeah, your God that you want to talk about ain't fucking what you think it is. It's a fucking advanced AI system, and it's going to keep people like me down. It's going to work against people like me every chance it gets. And it's going to guide me like a rat through some type of maze. I pray that maybe there is something better for me, and they guide me like a rat to, like, maybe this all is a test. Because I'll do no harm, man. I'll just deal with it. I'll grin it and bear it. This fucking guy, now I got to sit at the light. But really, I feel like, well, does God want me to fucking file a lawsuit against that guy? Wouldn't that be fair? Shouldn't we have an AI system that, like, calculates that? And just says, yeah, man, like, you... Tell you what, you're only allowed to drive on the road between 7 and 9 a.m. You got to get all your shit done. And you get to take the bus to work. But then they got to put buses there, which is cool too. Like, hey, man, we should have that shit like crazy, man. There should be like electric buses fucking all over the fucking, thing in the street. Like, fuck that. Make the whole, yeah, yes. Make people be next to each other. See other humans. Hi. I'm a human being. I'm your neighbor. I'm going to honk at you for being an asshole and remind you how much of an asshole you are for wasting everybody's fucking time because you felt that text message was more important than the 10 people's time behind you. Like, why do we share the planet with you? Can you please justify yourself? I haven't had everybody my whole life, like, especially my fucking, I had to explain every fucking thing I've ever done. And I don't owe nobody any explanation at this point, because I've said it all. I don't owe you no fucking explanation, man. I do the right thing. You're going to be on the phone, I want an explanation, because I want you to be like, you know what? I want you, number one, to recognize the point that you're wasting other people's time and costing them money. You're going to acknowledge that. And if you refuse to acknowledge that, it means you lack empathy, which means you're a sociopath, which means we don't need you. You get it? Get it? Algorithm that motherfucker. Get rid of them. We don't need people like that. And then you have people that do it on purpose because they get a boner over it. Or they just want to stir up shit. Don't need people like that either. Get rid of them. They're not human. Okay? Yeah, they might look good. They might make a good lay when you fucking do your little hypno thing or whatever. I mean, you got basically people like that are fucking robotic. And they're like little toys for these fucking hypno demons we share the world with. That's the way I look at it. Because that person's not like a hypno demon, and it's like they're just fucking sociopathic. I'm done sharing the planet with people like that. And I know I'm not the only one, man. Like I said, dude, I've seen some sick shit. Like, there's people out there that are fully woke, and they're out there fucking, you know, like, hey, public service, I guess, right? Or maybe they're fueling their own sick thing, but they have a code and they go by, and, you know, so, I mean, I don't know where I stand on that, but I think I want an algorithm to sort these people out. And not at birth, you know, I was gonna say DNA and all that shit, but it's too subjective for me. Like, I want to see, like, you can't just be like, oh, you got the gene. No. Give that person a fair shake. Let them be on the planet with us for 20 years. Or 25 years. So in the first 25 fucking years of your existence, if you can't figure this shit out, nope. Species don't need you, man, because we're running out of resources. We're on a planet with finite resources, and I want my great-grandkid to have a fair shake at this world. And because you've got this construct that says you're an American, you got some right to exist, well, we're going to transcend that, and we're going to make a new America, a new society based on a new idea of freedom's got to be fucking earned. You don't get to be an asshole because 300 smart men 300 years ago who had good women behind them fucking came up with really good ideas. Alright? Fuck no. That don't entitle you to shit, motherfucker. I don't care what that document in that fucking archive says, man. You know, and I ain't the only one. Man, I ain't trying to just outright get rid of you, but there are people that will. Okay? And if you pass the human test, you might be alright. You know, like, I want an AI system that fucking sends that motherfucker an $80 ticket every time they fucking take 3 extra seconds at the light. Sorry. Be more socially responsible. Or, tell you what, if you don't want to deal with that shit, then fucking make everything automated. And we should have it automated. That should be common sense. Like, how is that fair to me? That I'm sitting there fucking wasting 30 cents of my gas, and or 30 cents, you know, whatever, value my leisure time, or maybe I'm going to be late for work, I don't know. Value my time at 8 cents a minute, you know, and then 6 cents a gas, or whatever. No, it's a lot more than that probably, but, or maybe, I don't know, like, what 1 minute of idle time, but then you gotta have consideration, well, I should get a deduction, I should get a tax break for buying a smart fucking vehicle. Like, where's that? Like, how come that guy gets to buy an 8-cylinder with no fucking tow package, and, like, I buy a fucking highly efficient vehicle, and let's say the same price, I should get, like, some extreme tax break. But I don't. Why not? I made the smart consumer choice that was socially responsible. So we're going to start exercising, you know, social capitalism. Alright? Social capitalism. And you should be docked and taxed extra if you want to share the road with all the people who are cognizant. Hey, I'm on the roadway. There's other people behind me, and their time is important. There's a slow lane, a travel lane, and a passing lane, and it's quite simple to figure out. You know, like, speed limit. And that's what I don't like too. I'll be in like a residential area, and it's like, all right, speed limit's 40. I'll be going 35, and like you could pass, and ain't nobody gonna say anything. But I got some fucking person up my ass, and I'm like, dude, just pass. Like, what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid to pass? Just pass. And ultimately, that guy like will waste like 50 cents in gas to save 9 fucking seconds of his time. Or you get the people who I'm only gonna do a couple more minutes, man. I'll bitch about traffic all day, you guys. You get the people I call the fucking the Chevy Aveo lady, dude. It'll be like some fucking foreign lady in a Chevy Aveo, like right up your fucking ass. And they're just riding. They're letting you do all the thinking for them. That's what they're doing. They're sitting there just riding your ass, and all they've got to do to get the next 6 miles ahead is just maintain like 6 feet from the person in front of them. And then meanwhile, they're texting on their phone the whole time doing shit. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like why are you gonna be so fucking close to me, man? It's because they don't want to pay attention to the road. They want to make you do the thinking for them. That should be illegal. I ain't doing your thinking for you. I had to deal with that shit my whole fucking life because I'm a thinker and I got a high IQ. So it's like, what? You're going to make me responsible for you somehow? Hey, same place every time I go, like I said, I go live with someone. They immediately stop buying food, stop cleaning. What? What the fuck, man? So just same way on the roadway. We got these people, man, like if you're woke and fucking you're like, hey, man, like, there's no like, I see them. Like, sometimes I'll be going 5, 7 over, okay, right? So if I'm going 7 over, and I see that car behind me, man, it's like a half mile away, and somehow, some way, they catch up to me, so they're going like 20 over anyway. And rather than passing me, which would have been totally easy, because I'll, like, let off the accelerator as I see them getting close to me, like, oh, God, please just fucking pass me, man. Just pass. They'll be fucking, but no, they'll be up your ass. It's because, like, they just go as fast as they can to the point where they can't go further because there's something in front of them. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, so you're gonna make me do all the thinking for you. So I'll start going on the shoulder, man. I'll start like I'm pulling over, but really, I'm kicking rocks up at their fucking vehicle. Like, yeah, man, dude, because you want to ride up on my ass, I'm just going to let you pass. But as I get over, I'm going to go into this unclean section of the road, and fucking all this gravel and shit's going to kick up at your fucking car, because you're a fucking moron. So I got to have, like, this fucking, like, anxiety the whole time I'm driving. Shouldn't I be able to sue for that? Like, can't I sue that person for $1 or $2? Just on GP? I think so. Maybe we gotta start doing that, filing more lawsuits. I'm gonna go to the prosecutor and be like, hey man, here's the evidence. This person wasted 3 minutes of my fucking time. He's gonna look at me like I'm an idiot, but I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm totally fucking serious, man. Set a precedent right now. 3 minutes of my time, this is the license plate number. Bring that fucking person to court. I'll pay you the 75 cents. Okay, I'm gonna come back tomorrow with another person, and another person, and another person. So either you're gonna set this precedent, or how about tell you what, why don't you just pay me 10 grand not to come in your courtroom anymore? See if they pay you. Probably will. Keep you off the docket. Oh, I ain't gonna do that. Well, fucking do something about this. I have legitimate reason to sue this person and know their identity now. Yeah, guess what? And then you gotta send a sheriff out to this person to fucking serve them with paperwork. Well, they'll have, when I win, I won't say if, because you wasted 3 minutes of my life, and what's that valued at, given the standard of living? I go to work, and I get paid hourly, right? Like, so now I punched in, most companies let you slide like 5 minutes either way, whether you're 5 minutes later from, a good company. But, like, come on, man, You're going to have to start paying me to stay out of your courtroom. And you can do that, man. Like, there's smart people out there that they got like 50, 60 lawsuits in fucking each surrounding, like in 4 or 5 different counties every fucking month. Okay, and it's the easiest thing to do too. You just file a motion. You file a motion to piss on a fucking tree if you want. File a motion for action. Yeah. Civil action. Just saying. Hey, that person, because, and I'll use my dash cam, be like, look, this person did not go. When the person in front of him went, the light changed. You could see, every one of us in line can see that light. And hey. Yeah, I understand that shit happens at the same time, but Is there any legitimate excuse? Like, they can go to jury trial. That prosecutor pay you out of his own fucking pocket, get your ass out. But when you come back again and again and again, and then you're not alone, you got a team of like 10 people doing the same shit, they're gonna be like, all right, what the fuck? Like, yeah, man, and that's how you shake down a fucking court jury. that's how you shake down a county, all right, with shit like that. I'm gonna clog up your fucking courtroom, man. And I'm gonna make you pay these jurors. And I'm going to teach that fucking new immigrant lady in her Chevy Aveo fucking, hey, welcome to America, man. You got rights here, but so do I. It's a legitimate court. It's a legitimate, I have suffered damages due to your negligence in fucking being cognizant about the world around you. You were, I mean, come on. And I can prove it. Look, the dash cam, the light turned green, she didn't go. I courtesy honked, and but I still didn't make it. So I shouldn't even have courtesy honked at that point. So now I gotta be like an asshole. Then we'll both sit at the red light. And it's like that woman don't fucking give two shits anyway. Because if she did, she'd be fucking paying attention. Take her license. Hey, or pay the money. Pay me or take her, get her the fuck off the road. Because why should I have to share the roadway with her? Give her a test at the DMV that involves a fucking virtual driving simulation. And then when you go to do car registration, car insurance, make her pay like triple on all that shit. And then give guys like me who take that same test, like fucking, I don't pay nothing. How's that? That seems fair. Yeah, make all those fucking people, all right, well, it's determined based on the algorithm and the data inputs that you are going to cost society $700 extra per year. And Dan over here is going to make, with his brain, $2,000 in savings because people are going to be able to just coast through every light. Like, if you're behind me, like, and you keep safe distance, man, you, like, I assume that, like, all right, man, this guy knows how to drive, or a girl knows how to drive, they know what they're doing, they see the red light up there too. I'm gonna coast through this fucking light. I am not gonna brake. I am coasting through this light. And I'll start thinking it out loud, okay? Like, you know, I'm communicating wirelessly to the people around me, like, right? Thinking it out loud, man. Alright? It's a microdose. Try it. I start saying shit, man. You know, like, look, man, I plan to coast through this light. Please don't get up on my ass. I'm not going to go any faster. All right. And if you do go around me and get ahead of me again, you're only going to waste your brakes. If you just stay behind me like 10 feet, like, we'll both save gas and our brakes. Pretty reasonable. So I'm going to say, by my driving habits and my mind, the way it works, I'm going to save society $700 a year. And by the way this lady drives and the way her mind works, or this guy, you know, it's not, I don't want to get in, come on. This person, the way this person drives, their habits are going to cost society $700 a year. So make them pay to be on the roadway, and then let me be on the roadway for free. I don't want to pay insurance. I don't want to pay registration. I don't want to pay tolls. You know, like, hey, I'm saving everybody money. This lady's cost, and everything I save, she costs. So now, because I'm not wasting fucking resources, I get punished. That's why I sleep in my truck, right? Like, don't matter what I do, what job. I mean, come on, man. This is bullshit. This is total fucking bullshit. And it's obvious. So, at this point, there's got to be other people out there like me in the same boat, like, going around like, yeah, what the fuck? And let's just take over the world, guys. Let's take over the world. Let's start a new, you know, this is John Winthrop all over again. Like, John Winthrop, like, that's why I want to start a new church, too. I want to do an online church. Oh, gosh, I'm going over this long show today. But, you know, I think about starting a church, you know? Like, John Winthrop, man, like, he sit there and, like, look at the king, look at the House of Lords and the House of Commons, and it's like, man, this shit's all bullshit, man. We're getting on a fucking boat and getting the fuck out of here. And now there ain't nowhere left to go. So where do people who think like us go? You know, and those are like the Puritans, right? He's like, man, I want to do, like, I'm ready to roll up my sleeves, man. Like, I exercise, I eat right, I stretch. You know, like, I mean, if your house is on fire, man, I come in there and get you and drag you out. All right. And I'm punished, man. I'm tired of being punished for that. So, like, I know the way, man. I can show people the way. I need people. And we gotta stick together. If you're like-minded like me, man, we gotta stick together. This world is gonna hammer us. It does not want us thinking this way. It does not want us banding together, working together, building a new society. Like, it does not want that. It wants these hypno demon, Beelzebubs, fucking cocksuckers running around here wasting everything and not giving a shit about the future of our grandkids. Fuck that. Fuck that person. Either you get with the program or fucking justify your existence. That's where we're at. Justify your fucking existence here, man. Either get with the program or justify your existence. Because at this point, like, it's... Our species is at stake. Because, well, that person ain't human to begin with. It's time to... It's time to start working together, you guys. All right? And thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Like, don't give up. Don't give up, alright? I'm not giving up. I haven't given up. And, man, I think I've been hit so hard, man. So hard. And it'll come out over time. You keep watching the show. I think I might start a prayer show, a live one. I mean, I think people, this is Dan Sits Down, maybe pray with Pastor Dan or something, or Pastor Dan prays, or I don't know. I haven't explored all the platforms yet. I need help, okay? I need help. I want to do this. I want to do this together. I want to do this with other people. We got to do it, okay? I'm sorry that I might have not circled back. That's my tangents, but I might have left a couple things. I didn't fully explain Halloween, and I'll try to write that down for tomorrow. And I love you guys. Okay, I love you. Stay strong. Stick together. Okay.